There we are. Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? Oh, that's me. Watcher, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 9 months, dude. I appreciate it. So, while they're doing their self introductions, a quick introduction myself about what I'm watching. This is for a game called Ashes of Creation. It's a game I've been looking forward to for like 6 years now. I'm actually a really big MMO junkie, so I love to see this game do well. It's something I can like include the entire community on, something I'm willing to like spend a large portion of my life on. I bought a lifetime subscription to the game. It was like a 400 some dollar price point, but I have invested and I trust a lot in this game, and so I'm following all of their kind of live updates about the game, and uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they have to say. I don't think this one is too important for me. It involves like crafting and artisanship, um, but for me, I'm just waiting for the game. But let's see what they have to say. Hold on, let me take this off because it's getting a little warm. Hold on, give me one sec. I turn my sweater into a little bit of a blanket. Okay. Hello, hello. Let me see if I can go live on this. Phew. Phew. There we go. Now I'm live on TikTok as well. Hold on, give me one sec, you guys. Phew. What the heck? Bless you. Thank you, guys. I couldn't sleep. Oh no. What's wrong, Kichi? Hey, Sir Alex. Oberon, thank you for the 24 months. That's 2 whole years. What's up, gamers? It's good to see you all. Hold on, let me blow my nose really quick. This might be a little loud. Let me mute myself. Phew. It's not just one sneeze. Who is that in TikTok live? Bless you again. Thank you, guys. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Here, let me move this over so I can... Phew! What's wrong with me? We can't hear them? Oh no. Hold on.
Makes the world
There,
go
you should be able to
round
hear them
era,
now.
is
They're not really
obviously
talking
those
about
types
anything
of
right now.
systems,
But
and it makes the
oh, that was just me
events
talking to
where
myself then
when
the whole time.
conflict does occur
Oh
that much
man.
more exciting because of how much it took
Let me
to kind
see
of
if I can turn the
set the
sound up a little
stage
bit.
for a high risk reward type encounter, and that's what caravans are all about. So January is going to be a really fun thing to see, I believe, and you guys are going to be
There's definitely
happily
a lot of questions
surprised.
regarding the PvP element of just our game in general. And of course, when we showcased the caravan system, there were a lot of follow up questions in regards to how PvP would play into that. And of course, we had already planned to share that, but the caravan system alone is such an in-depth system, and the PvP on top of that is. So we just split those up. Hopefully, you all understand.
S's
That. Of course,
creation.
we
I'm
didn't wanna
curious.
do
Ooh, I'm
too
glad you're
much of
curious.
too
You've already
so
wait, have you agreed to play with me already, Kichi?
But of
Because I know
course,
there's a lot of people who
I think I misspoke last month. I meant to say that
who do want to play.
in the
I'm trying to like
December
figure out how to
end of
make
the
this
year,
a
we are
little
going to
bit
share the quarter. I believe that's what we had said
easier to read
earlier on
because the
as well.
color
We
is
announced the
kind of
2024,
weird.
Alpha 2
Hold on.
timeline as well. And I think I misspoke and said next live stream when I meant to say like at the
Hey
end of the
Kyuro.
year.
Hey Sir
So
Alex.
we will be announcing
Hey
hopefully
Watcher.
Alpha 2 will be next live
I
stream
think Reg is here
in
too, and
December's live
Oberon's
stream.
here too.
Make it very
Sneezy
clear.
Wolf.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a
not
sneezy
not too
boy.
far away.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna try to get
absolutely.
it
We're only a few weeks
so
away from that.
they're only
actually,
talking
Yeah,
about
like
like
we said.
reminders
not
and
that
stuff.
far away.
Wait, not that far away from what?
But I
Yeah,
just
we got a
wanted to
lot
be
of
clear.
testing that's been going on over the course of this month, and obviously December is going to be a big month when it comes to testing as well. I made a little
Oh,
bit
they're
of
testing
commentary
stuff.
about that in the Discord. Things are heating
Wait
up
a
for sure,
second.
but I do
What?
want to temper expectations. I want to remind everybody that this is alpha
Alpha.
testing, right? And so because of that, you can look
I
historically
have not
at
been
how
really
far
paying
the game
attention in
has
that
come
one.
year after year, the improvements that get made. And what we're about to show you right now, which is a little over an hour-long showcase
An
regarding
hour-long show.
all
Oh
things
my gosh.
artisanship, right?
He delivered
I
it.
made a post in Discord yesterday that just went over kind of all the types of updates that
I'm
we're going to
choosing
see. And
Bard for my
I wanna
class. I want to be a
reiterate them
support
here
for
before
once
we actually move to
that don't
the
heal and
video segment.
shield.
And I know a lot of you guys take
Yeah, I mean, I think
your hour break to
bards
kind of
are
watch
really
this,
essential, and how
to
it worked
watch
in
our live
Arcage
stream.
is that the
Oh,
buffs
oh,
didn't
I
stack,
apologize.
so
Oh,
you
I'm
wanted
sorry. I thought it was
one
Ricky.
bard,
No, go through
or
the reminders
maybe
and then I'll
two
do
for a
Ricky.
large
Oh,
group.
okay, okay,
No,
go.
it's
You're
okay.
Or like you wanted one
But,
bard
yeah,
per
I just wanted
large
to
group.
kind of let people know that
Because
was
they're it's always good to have one though.
on my side.
Those
Of
AoE
course,
buffs are
we
really
do wanna
strong.
thank you all for helping
Gawu,
us
hello
with
Reg.
July.
Good
What an
morning.
amazing campaign
They're
that
still
we,
talking about
Oh my
stuff,
have.
but
gosh.
I do want to hear it.
You're wonderful. I mean, we can't thank you guys enough for
I
what
forgot
you've done
that
for
was
Rady
this
Children's.
month. I feel like that was a year ago already.
I know. But we did put an article up.
Okay, I think my
for
sneezes have
winners
calmed down a
too,
little bit.
and all the winners have been reached out
Um,
to and given their rewards. I think the last of rewards are.
I'm gonna play Summoner.
videos
Ooh.
right after this and sending out. So everyone should be getting all of their things or have information.
I think I've talked like literally all my
information
friends into at
to
least
you,
trying the
so,
game out.
I just wanted to reiterate that to
And
others,
so I really
Yeah,
need
and
like,
just to
you know who
just
does
a
really
last-
good recaps of this game?
a
Lazy
last
Peon.
parting
I need to
comment
show them
in
like a
regards
Lazy
to
Peon video to
Secret
get them
Extra Life.
involved.
Those of you who didn't get to
And
participate
I'm
in
not the
it,
greatest
you
at
didn't
like
get to take a
selling
look.
it on someone because
I
I'm just
think
like, trust
that,
me,
as a community, we
and it'll be
need
good.
to,
Most people
we
buy
need to
that,
celebrate
which
our
I'm glad
accomplishments,
because I
and
think I'm a
it
trustworthy
is a
source of
really cool
information.
thing that we as a community
It's
have
serious
come
for me if I'm
together
becoming quiet.
over the course
It's
of the
because I
last
passed
several
out.
years
Ah, completely
to raise over
understand. Have a good sleep, Reg.
$325,000 for Rady's Children's
A
Hospital.
bard
That is-
tank.
that is
Yeah,
truly
usually
something
the
that
the
is
thing that
proud of
wins
Natchez
large
community.
fights
I
is
mean, we're
usually
not even
AoE
in
CC
our game
tank
yet
plus
playing,
AoE
right? And
mage.
we have come
And
together
those are
as a
usually like the
community
best combos.
very strongly and are capable
And then
of
you
doing
occasionally
these
want like
things that
one
help others and
like
demonstrate
bruiser
the quality
assassin
of
type
what it
character,
means to
or like
be
a
an
couple of
Ashes
them
of
to chase
Creation
stragglers.
community member. And that's something that I think is very unique, and it's something that we should be proud of, and that we should carry
Hey,
with us to the other
Impa!
gaming
Thank you for the
communities
16
that we are
months.
part of.
Thank you, thank you.
You know, we're all an eclectic bunch of gamers.
I think they
We
just
enjoy
said that
lots of
like
different games.
December is going to be a large part of the
The
testing. I'm going to
cause
look
that-
for that in
that Extra
the.
Life presents,
Wait, where do you put
I
that?
think is a worthwhile one, and it is something that touches the hearts of
I
people.
wish.
who
How
are
do you
gamers
search
just
for
you
like
and I, like Margaret and I,
from?
and it's really something that's noticeable for us to come together and perform like that. So kudos to you guys out in the community. That is truly something remarkable.
And I can't wait to see what even crazier
I
things.
don't
we
know
can
how to
do
like
this
search
year as we
someone's
get closer
name
and
on
closer to
Discord.
launch, and then post-launch as well.
Like search all of
and
the
how
a
we can
specific
integrate
user's
ad notifications
post.
into
Does
our
anyone know how to
those
do
kind of
that?
things. So
Paladin,
thank
High
you
Priest, or
all, and of
Necromancer for
course,
me?
Our community is just amazing as a whole.
Yeah, I think I might roll
we
double
love
cleric.
how much you all
Either
interact with
it
us
depends on the healer's skill set.
That up, and I know it's only gonna
Because
be
usually
good
I'm
when we
a
start doing more guild stuff
I'm like a
as well, but we
shielder
can
type
expand
priest,
to more of
but
that as we get like
or a cleric. It depends on what the skill of evolutions are. So I have to see what they are first. I'm okay with having little movement as long as I have high utility, because I'm pretty much in favor of really high utility type characters. And we'll have to see like what that means. And utility could mean anything. Usually anything that like pulls or pushes other people that they
look at
can
that. And of
control,
course,
or
a
like
little
some
bit of
effective form of
PvP
crowd
filter,
control, I'm usually really in
that's
favor of
already
that.
on drop rarity.
Which post
So
in
we are
Discord are you
putting
looking
some
for?
thought
I'm
into
looking
drop rarity,
for
which I know
in the
most of
Ashes of
y'all out
Creation
there do.
Discord post made
Definitely
by
give us some
Steven
thoughts in
Sharif.
regards
So
to that, because
like a
we definitely
specific
have an
post that
alert for
the creator of the game
in
made.
regards
Because
to
he just
that.
mentioned on his live
Also,
stream that
I don't have an
he
asset
posted
for
some
this. It's kind of
information
more of
about live
a
testing.
surprise thing.
And
But
I am part
we
of the
always do
Alpha
something
1
kind
and
of
Alpha
really
2
fun
testing
or
groups, which
silly
means
during the
I'll
holidays.
probably be
But our next
eligible
Alpha
for
1 is going to
whatever
be
they're
a bonus
doing.
dev discussion.
And as
So
long
we're
as it's
going to
not
have a
under
special
NDA, I can
limited
share with you
conditions
guys
dev
how I feel
discussion.
and what kind of
For those of you
information
who
it
have
is.
partaken in the past, we've made
Can't use
some
volumes.
really
Hi
great
Annie,
things
welcome,
because of
welcome.
that. And especially tying in with the artisanship stuff for those who enjoy cooking and things of that
Hold
sort.
on.
You definitely want to head over to the forums next week and vote on which Varen holiday recipe you would like to see. And we'll be putting some
I
of
wish
those
there was a
up
way
to
for me to
share with
like
you guys for the holiday
have
season.
this,
And
but
hopefully some people will make them.
is there a way I can like make this background
Yeah,
black?
that would be
Cool.
super cool. What if some
Hold
people
on.
did
There's
make
got to be
them
a
and
way.
we had a little bit of like some alpha keys that we gave out for the
Ooh.
best
Oh, they're giving out alpha
version of
keys
those
too?
recipes? I don't know.
Oh,
That could
you
be
gotta do a thing for it.
That'd be
interesting.
hard. We'd have to do a whole
No,
campaign
that's
for that.
true.
But
That's true. We could do community voting.
we could,
I don't know. I'm just
we
thinking.
can figure something out. We might.
Margaret's like,
we
Steven,
could maybe,
no,
Yeah.
quiet.
We might be able to do something like that. Definitely contests in the future, but I think we might be able to give some alpha keys away if people make some stuff and share with us.
Yeah,
As like
that'd be cool.
bonus, not contest oriented.
Yes,
We'll see.
that's right.
We'll talk. We'll discuss on that front. And of course, just reminder that the Unseen Order will be.
Sorry, I have to
printing
keep blowing my
January
nose on
17th.
occasion.
I know that some people just want to make sure that they're being conscious of that. So,
Can you guys hear the
the
game okay?
This is
Let me
the
turn them
last
up a
time
little
we will
bit.
be offering a pre-order pack specifically. So if you would like that, definitely head on over.
Yes, if
there
you want to
and
buy an alpha key,
and with
this is
that,
your last
Steven,
chance to
I
get
will hand
into
over
it.
to you to
But
do
if you
some
don't, it's
canvassing.
completely fine. Like
Thank
their
you.
alpha is meant to not
All
be
right,
that
let's
open,
everybody
so
breathe together on stream. We want to breathe in,
uh-oh, am I lagging a little
hold,
bit?
and
A
breathe
little
out.
bit.
Okay.
But it's not that bad.
So,
Not yet. If I have to reset it,
as
I
a
will.
reminder, this stream is going to be focused on artisanship as a whole. And artisanship in the economy is obviously a very integral component of creating
I'm
a
gonna turn it up all
world
the
where
way
progression
because I
matters,
still can't hear it.
where decisions and choices
That's
matter.
all my volume.
The world state that is constantly in flux and changing around you
I would
is
love
very
to, but
relevant
no way
as it
for me to
relates
purchase
to
it.
supply and demand within the
Right.
economy.
I don't know if they do it
That creates
aside from
opportunity.
like
It also
some places
creates,
in Asia.
unfortunately, downsides and downturns.
It's gonna be rough, and
That
plus the
keeps a
ping would be
market
pretty bad for
interesting,
you.
right?
Hey, but once you do your study
Also
abroad
because you
thing, or
remember things. The times when
Yeah.
after you go
having
to Canada
struggle,
or
when
whatever,
you win and overcome
it's gonna
those is,
be
like, the things you
doable.
remember the most. I mean, imagine your
Because
favorite
debit card here sucks.
guild moments are
I don't
usually
know
when you're
about
like,
debit.
We tried 10 times on the boss, but then we finally
Oh,
did
yeah.
it, right?
Certain types of debit that are
100%. I mean,
accepted.
some of the
But it's completely fine. You
some
might
of
be
the
able to
more
like find
interesting
other ways to like
moments that I've had
VPN
in other
into it or something
games,
like that.
was where there were unique and scarce resources that everyone was contending for, right? And those created, I think, very emergent and dynamic interactions between the players. Obviously,
I really
that
wish there was a way
that was
to fix
interesting.
this. Hold on.
But okay, so what we're going to see today is not just about artisanship. It is also going to be
Events
related to several changes that happen within the game over time. And so, being that this is the end of the year or coming close to the end of the year, you're going to see a number of different updates to
It's a big boy decision.
several different systems. You're going to see some updates on the UI front, a little bit more explanation, and perhaps a clearer picture for you as it relates to spatial management and the inventory systems. That's obviously something that is unique to the gathering system. You're going to see significant updates to game lighting. When we showed the night and day cycle in the past, there was a resounding feedback from the community to see a bit darker exploration for the night times to kind of bring that field of view in a bit more.
Just need to find
And
some
so we've
friends there
updated
first, so I
that.
won't feel lonely.
You're also going to see some
I
significant
mean, I'm definitely
changes
willing
from
to
our
play
tech
games
art
with
team
you
with the
with the
skybox and
better
our
ping and all.
volumetric clouds.
But Canada,
I think it's
depending on where
something
you
that
are,
creates a bit
can
more
be
dramatic
big.
atmosphere
Like
within
Canada's
this
big.
video.
I live in
You're
the
going to
States, and I think
see
that's
the
big.
first
But Canada's
showcase of processing and
also
how
pretty big.
processing works from a station's perspective. These are going to be systems that allow players within the node who may not have a freehold to still participate in some levels of processing. And that's
By the way,
an
if you're in the
important
TikTok live, let me know
distinction
if the sound
between
is okay.
what's
I
available
turned the
on
game
freeholds
sound
and
up
what's available
quite a
within
bit,
nodes.
so it might be a little
You're going
loud.
to see, get a little bit of insight to predicate systems that relate to what you can access in the wild.
I would be in
we
Ottawa
made this
because
change a
that's my
while
only
ago that
choice.
everything
Just
is
hoping you'll be able to
accessible,
play
obviously,
Exploration without lag.
from
It should be
a
okay in
resource
Ottawa,
gathering
but
perspective.
I am pretty far from
However,
Ottawa.
we do gatekeep
That's like
some
somewhere
of
in the
the
middle of
access
Canada, I
points
believe.
to progression within the profession, and you're going to see the certification, a very low-level
The one I'm
certification
closest to is called
process.
the
That's
province, I guess,
quest-driven.
is called
You're not going
Ontario.
to see that whole
Here,
certification
Luffy. Hello,
process,
hello. Welcome
but you are
in.
going to see how those resources are restricted. You're also going to see some tool making, kind of the initial tools that you'll get as a gatherer, which is going to be quest related to start, and then you'll have to be making those tools yourself. You're going to see a little bit of our recipe system and the recipe book, as well as the other crafting stations for those recipes. We're going to be specifically crafting a weapon in this video. And you're not going to see all of the accurate recipe components
I need to
necessary
like
to craft
change
the
the
weapon,
background,
but you are going to see a version of that right now. You're also going to see something that you haven't seen since Alpha 1. Which is our corruption zones, and the corruption zones are something obviously that changes within the world state, and the world state is a very important aspect of what resources are available at what time. Corruption spreads as players do not respond to it appropriately. It can be the predicate for events. It can be the predicate for story
thank you for the gifts of
Kichi. And it does
Hold on. Thank you so much, Kichi.
Spawners within the world. Something that's
I think
unique,
TikTok itself has an odd audio. I can hear them fine in both ears, but I can only hear you in my left.
Of resources. And you're going to see a little bit of our adaptive resource, and from that you're going to see a little bit of our adaptive resource gathering tech updates, where you see those resources change from night to day or from corrupt to not corrupt. And then there is going to be a little bit of a leak of
there we go.
a couple of ranger skills.
This should be better now, right?
I will give you another
I
leak.
found a downmix to audio button.
Be doing the ranger showcase again. There's 18 new abilities.
Overall, thank you for gifting us some to peach flavor.
Show off, and I think that you guys will have a fun time with that. But we did have
Good afternoon to you guys. Overall, thank you for gifting us some to Arctic.
So with that being said,
thank you guys. Yeah, the TikTok sound should be fixed by now, I think.
This is still alpha. Yes, that's right.
Overrun? Wait.
This is still alpha. This is still
it a group?
Work in progress.
Hold on.
Things only get better from this
That's
point
5
forward,
gifted. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted, Overrun.
We want to show you how things are progressing.
Happy
and we want to 11:30. So you're able to provide us feedback
thank
on
you.
You see
I might be a little laggy. I don't know why.
Let us know how this relates.
Probably because I'm dual. I'm using two streamer things
differently. So keep in mind as you're watching, what are the points of feedback that you want to give us? You can give them to us on YouTube, which will be released shortly after this live stream.
Thread that we'll have up. That's the best way.
Mage Fire Combined class? Yeah, that's the battle mage.
It is the best way forums, but
it depends. Like,
not a lot of you
as long as there's a primary stat, like.
Out on the Discord or on the social
I have to see
medias.
what it combines into, but I'm pretty sure there would be a melee version of a mage.
Like Steven was saying.
There's no way that they wouldn't have something like that.
Absolutely.
Their augments would have to be really significant though for him to be a viable melee mage.
I think that was the last thing. We will see you guys in just
like
over an hour.
You're like packing when you leave.
I talked over their reminders a lot, so I'll probably have to go back and look at see what they said.
All right, we'll see you guys in just a little bit.
I'm just checking to see if I'm a little laggy. And I am, but it's not a big deal. Hey Yarrow! Welcome, welcome. Let me see if I can get any more.
Hello everyone, and
welcome
to yet another stream from Vera. And we have a very exciting stream for you today. We are going to be going through the artisanship system, and it has been a little while since we last talked about artisanship and showcased the gathering, and we're going to do a little bit of that today. And we also, during our last stream with Freeholds, talked a little bit about processing, and we're going to be doing that today as well. And we're also going to be crafting something pretty interesting, and I have joining me 4 of our
It must be my earphones then. It's still the same sound for me. Oh. Wait a sec.
Some of
Hold
them
on.
regulars. I think all of them actually regulars have been on
Yeah,
the
it's
stream
down
before.
mixed to mono.
We
Maybe try
have
refreshing
two
it.
of our glorious designers, Mike and Corey. Mike, Corey, how you guys doing?
Doing
Good,
great.
how are you?
Glad to be here.
Doing very good. I'm excited to show off what you guys have been working on and how far it's come since people last saw it.
I turned on
Yeah,
the
same here.
noise
It's-
filter too.
It's very exciting for
so
us.
maybe it'll
Yes.
be better.
We also have joining us one of our glorious engineers, Alex. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing very good. You have been doing a lot of work on the engineering side of things, getting all these glorious designs up and running. It's going to be exciting to take a look at that today.
It's called the
as well.
spell sword. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a challenge.
There's a
Fulfill
whole
all the
diagram
wishes of my
that shows you
designers.
what they're called when you put them together.
Not bad, was it?
They're like, wait, all of our wishes? That's awesome.
Nice.
The one that passed visibility.
Yes. We also have joining us for this is your second time now, Nathan. Our
Yeah,
glorious
the
producer,
double
Nathan.
feature.
I know, back to back.
I know the artisanship
All the
is
classes
the
and no
peanut butter to
Berserker.
the jelly that is Node. So I'm
There's
super
no
excited to show
Berserker,
how
but
these
I know
are
there's a
interacting
fighter
with each
class.
other.
Yes, it is totally 100%, and you guys have done a great
Maybe a
job so
double
far.
fighter would be
I know you guys have
Berserker.
been
I don't know.
Really pushing it this last sprint, and it has definitely shown through to me. So I'm excited to show the audience. All right, so why don't we talk a little bit about what we're going to be
Supporting
doing
allies while being able to
today.
dodge and chase enemies seems cool. Yeah.
Corey.
Yeah.
I think like
Yeah,
a
sounds
lot of
good.
people do value the
So,
movement, but if you have really good
had brought up
utility,
that
you don't need the
had done a
movement. You just need
little,
good positioning.
lumberjacking, but we're kind of interested in getting into some mining and herbalism.
Dreadnought
because you
seems to be
picked up a
closest to me.
recipe.
Which
I
was
think
that
it's
one?
like,
I have to
you were
look
saying it's a
at
pretty nice
what that
sword or
is.
something.
Oh,
So
okay. Let me take a
sounds
look. Is
tanky,
that's
though.
Gonna be in my inventory?
yeah, it should be in your inventory. Yeah. So I was thinking we could go out and get some of the stuff that we would need to make that sword.
Okay.
Some of them are a little harder to come by, so I'm not sure whether or not we'll be able to get our hands on
Hi,
that.
Hikaru.
If not,
Hello,
I think
hello.
we might have some stuff for you.
Welcome
but,
in. I know
yeah,
this is an
guess,
odd time for me to stream. I
we just
almost
need to
never
kinda
stream on
get our stuff
Thursdays,
together.
but
As you mentioned, or as I mentioned, you already did some
Here I am.
lumberjacking, but we'll
Yes.
probably need to get
give
you.
me one sec. I can't see like
herbalism
names very well.
sickle
Okay.
and maybe some extra bags.
Oh, that's
so you have
peach
some
flavor.
space.
sounds
You
like
just
so
got
yeah,
a sub
let's,
from Kichi. Make
yeah,
sure to
let's
give him a
make
big
our
thank you
way
if you got
over
one.
to the agricultural supply. I think there's one of those built in Winstead right now, so we can head down there and.
So now talk to me a little bit about, obviously we have this recipe. When players are looking to create different items in the game, they're going to need to go out and either purchase or get drops of recipes or trade with other players. And when they acquire that recipe, like I have here, it says Nightblade.
I just
I
saw.
can use
Yeah.
the recipe and
Oh,
then
Oberon gave the
learn
gift.
a
Make sure to give
weaponsmithing
Oberon
recipe
thank you.
for the Nightblade.
It's
So I
nice to
have
see
a
you
recipe
regardless.
book
It's nice to see you as
that I get to
well.
keep, essentially. I learn these recipes once.
Yep, pretty much.
I
There
saw
might be
Y2K
some
join in,
cases where
in
some
TikTok.
recipes
Hey, how
might
you
have
doing?
a
How you
charge
doing
count,
today?
So when you craft it 5 times, it might disappear. But generally, most
Don't be
of the
afraid to say hi,
cases,
by the
all
way.
the recipes should be permanently learned.
Okay, nice. That's very cool. And right-clicking this is going to consume it, I assume. But I do get a preview of the materials that we need. And Corey, this is what you were talking a little bit about. Going out and collecting some of these. There's a night opal moon bell. I assume that is some type of flower.
Yeah, so the night
I got my
opal and the
water, too.
moonbells those are the ones that I was kind of alluding to. They're a little difficult to get our hands on. The night opals, you basically can't see them at all during the day.
You got banned off of
as it gets
TikTok?
closer
How
to
did that
night,
happen?
If they're in the world,
What?
they'll sort of
Or is it banned in your country, you mean?
push away their shell and start shining a bit, and then the moonbells only bloom at night. So we'll have to kind of maybe we'll work on some of the other things that you need for that recipe.
People don't like
and,
that my character's
hopefully
short.
nighttime will
It's
come
not that
around and
short.
we
There's
can,
plenty of
find
short
some of those
people.
things.
Okay, very cool. So I'm going to right-click this recipe to learn it. Let's see here.
Oh, is that how you learn
It says learn
recipes?
New recipe.
I'm kind of curious about that, because like
Okay.
Yeah.
that means that you
Now,
need
where are we gonna
one
go
recipe
to get
per
this
person to
sickle
learn it,
information?
and
Oh yeah. So right
it
over here.
sounds like recipes are
Um,
going to have to be rarer to get.
Oh, okay. They got this area in kind of the back alley of the town.
Yeah. So if you head through here,
He's playing,
this
like,
is
really
the
zoomed in.
agricultural supply. This is one of the service buildings that you can build in the
Not gonna
node.
lie,
This one
I
kind
don't
of
like
focuses
snails.
specifically
I
on
think snails are
artisanship,
kinda
and you'll find
gross.
stuff for herbalism, farming, and animal husbandry here. So if you talk to Mr. Willie over here,
Oh, let me turn the sound down just a
Um,
little bit.
yeah, so
'Cause
if
he
you
is
talk
kinda
to him,
loud.
he should give you some stuff that you can use to your first sickle. So,
Okay.
and then
Excuse me
once you
again.
have those things, there's a little anvil here over here to your left, and you can craft the sickle there. And then I think once you
Snails are
have the
delicious.
sickle,
I
you can talk to
forgot you
him,
eat a
and,
lot of like the
it'll complete the quest
odd things
and,
I would never
yeah,
eat
give you your first
myself.
sickle. You'll be ready to
Kichi.
go.
This guy is incredibly rude. We need to have a conversation with the narrative team about how these vendors speak to the citizens of this village. This is unbelievable. He said he
Yeah,
just
well,
can't. He can't teach
Yeah.
just any drifter. Am I just any drifter? Does he not see the crown on this helmet?
I guess not. Yeah, we'll have to add
I mean-
the mayoral narrative tags just so they can and up their respectful speech.
He's not even going to pay me too for achieving these many tasks he has for me.
He's paying you in experience.
That is
as
not enough.
Oh man, I've had those jobs before.
same.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Thank you.
You get paid in experience.
Okay.
I'm pretty
I
sure
have
it's legal in
achieved
a lot of
this quest. It's
states.
called a Feast of Flowers.
You can't get paid in experience.
Awesome.
You have to be like
So
actually
He
paid.
wants me to show him my crude sickle.
Nice. You should do that. We'll turn away.
Right here.
Wait,
Whoa, whoa.
this is going to be one of those streams. Okay. All right. So, what do I need to do with this?
Come over here, next to the anvil.
All right.
Behind you.
Yeah. So there's a little anvil right here. You can interact with that, and that should pull up the crafting menu. So as a gatherer, you'll be able to craft your own tools. They're going to take resources that come from all sorts of.
I feel like once the
different,
game comes out, Hikaru's gonna
professions.
build a
You'll be able
guild
to,
with armies of VTubers in
always
it.
source all of those things
There will
just-
be a
just
lot of
yourself,
VTubers
but,
in it. I think I've talked to Mao is
luckily,
100% going to be playing this
Willie's
game
nice
with
and he
me.
gave you some,
He is also
some
looking
components, and
into
you can kinda
Project
just throw
L,
them together to
which is
make the
coming
first,
out sometime
first
next
sickle
year.
here, so
He already
you can go
does.
through with
Yeah,
the-
there's a
go
lot
through
of
the
people who
craft,
aren't
you should get
VTubers
that
in it as
thing
well.
and, show it to
They're
him, and,
carryover from my old
he'll
guild
give you
from
a little
Arcade, but I don't know where a lot of them
background.
went
So,
because
anyway.
this is a great
we've been waiting for
example
this game
as
for
we're
about
kind of,
6 years, so the guild
players, as you're
activities were
entering
put on
into Alpha
hiatus
2
for a
and
long
you're
time.
wanting to get started
And during that
into,
time, I wasn't a
artisanship,
VTuber before that,
these
but now that
different
I am,
professions will
like
have
I have a
number
whole
of
swath of
quests available
new
to
VTuber
introduce
friends,
players to
and
their
then I have
first
you guys
tool
too, my
sets.
community.
And
So
then
I'm gonna
from
drag all you
there,
guys into it,
tool
as
set
well as
sustainability
my
will be
my
you know,
current
incumbent
VTuber
on
friends.
the
The sad
player
nostalgic
to
feeling. It's
continue
not
to
sad.
gather
I mean,
resources
it's kind of like
necessary to
I
repeatedly
miss it. I miss it
create
for
tools
sure.
because they have a durability
But
that
it's
gets
not
respected
sad. It's
when
more like
interacting with
oh, I
resources
remember that time.
world.
It's something that I want more of, but I don't look back on it with
Okay,
regret
so
or
I'm gonna
anything.
talk to him again.
All the MMOs that I play,
Yes, I make a
yeah.
sickle.
Why are the stakes high?
Okay, now
The
he's
stakes?
criticizing
Don't
my
hang the stakes
crude
too high.
work.
If they fall, they'll crush you.
Okay, okay.
All right, but that's fine.
We all know what your first mayoral decision is going to be is destroy agricultural
Yeah,
supplies.
this guy is going to
Defund the agricultural supply.
Yeah.
Oh, no. All right, very cool. So I
Oh, yeah, and
now.
you-
Oh.
You can preview it in Arden's page actually.
Yeah, once you there you go. You should.
By the way,
There we
for those of you who
go.
don't know,
Equipped to
the
artisan tool slot. Very
this is
cool. So now
restreamed
this
on
is
my
the artisan
actual
tool slot, so
YouTube
open that
channel.
and take a look.
My main one that I put my
Yeah.
song covers on and stuff.
Perfect.
It's not being sent
Okay.
to my
Okay,
my
so,
IDV channel. So if you're on the
Yeah, so
IDV
we have that
channel,
panel open. This is
be
kinda
careful.
Like the
I'm not
hub
looking
for
at the
all
chat there.
artisanship stuff. I think we poked around here a little bit.
At least we can make new
some of the
memories,
previous
of
streams,
course.
but,
yeah,
right
and now this
inside there,
time,
you
like,
can see
I'm
all
dragging
the
Kuro into
slots
it,
for
I'm dragging Mao into
the
it.
tool types,
Um,
for each
Zakor,
of our gathering
I think
professions, so,
I got him to
it looks like you have one
to
of each
play
of the
it.
tools that we're looking to use today.
Anyone who likes
Um,
MMOs is
also
most
got
likely going to
ours.
try this game out, and I'll, like, maybe I can get Sugoi to join in.
Oh yeah, you said you're like what level are you?
I'm
Although,
level 9. I'm
The
about
guild
level
at that
10.
point will
Oh,
probably
that's awesome.
be,
Okay, so like while we're out and about,
it'll
if you hit
be
level 10, you should be able
18
to,
plus
upgrade your
in
certification to
parentheses.
apprentice, and
in
that's
that
one of our certification breakpoints.
I
And,
think,
once you hit those breakpoints, it kind of opens up
Like-
a whole new range.
like,
of
RP
stuff
stuff
that
is
you can do,
whatever.
new
Like, there
tools,
will be
yeah,
18 plus
exactly right.
activities,
A new
but
portion of your skill tree. So we should for
Is
sure.
it okay to have like
get you that level 10 and see what
Uh,
happens.
see,
Perhaps,
okay,
we
this
can
is
get
something that
the
I've kind of
Oh, yeah,
dealt
yeah.
with as a guild leader, but
So
when I was
potential
before I was a
Yeah.
guild leader,
So,
when I was
we talked about
not
this in the past
18
with
plus,
with the
I was
different
a little
inventory,
younger at the
kind
time,
of
but I played
having,
World of Warcraft, right?
different spatial
And I was like
layouts
one of
our
the
bags
best
and
healers
also
on the
our,
server for raiding,
our
and
resources.
I wanted to
And
join an
so,
18 plus
we've been
guild.
working on that a little
And
bit, and
although like I didn't really
trying to
care what
set
they
up
did
bags
on
that
their 18
have,
plus time, like they
spaces
didn't
that
even
are
do anything that
optimal
was really
for,
18 plus.
the
I think they
shapes
just
that
didn't
are
want
gonna
to be involved
associated
with a
the
minor.
resources, and
It's
having
hard to
stats on the
say
bags that will
like
change, the
this
stack
minor's
size
allowed
and
to
how much you can
participate in
stack stuff
activities
up.
as
So,
long because like I know
since
I
we're
was a
going out,
minor
we're
at the
gonna collect a
time,
bunch of stuff,
but I didn't
you
really
should
care for
grab
any of the
one
18 plus stuff.
the,
I just couldn't find any
bountiful bags
non-18 plus
from
progression
Willy, and then we'll
guilds
go over to the
signed to keep
stoneworks and
minors
see
away.
if we can grab
Yeah,
a
it's like
bag.
it does
That,
keep the minors
Willy
away, but like
has a number of different
it when I was
armor
not
shirts and
18,
novice
it felt
skills.
bad that I couldn't join a
Herbalist
progression guild.
tees.
Like all
I
the
wanted
guilds
to
were
get gear
18
from
plus. So it was just kind of
Yeah,
like
it's up to you. I
really
mean,
crap
there's
that I
gear
could
for
not
all of the
progress
different,
in anything because they would there's an
crafting,
age limit
gathering,
on the
and
guild.
processing
Even though I was
professionals
like
that'll
pretty
help you,
qualified to join
do those
a lot of
different
them.
trades. So
Like
and
my
it's up to you,
parses
like,
were
if
up
you-
there
you said
too.
you're higher level in
So
lumberjacking, so you could grab some of that stuff.
it's very
to kind
like
of compound on the stats.
although I will
make you faster
probably
at
say
chopping,
it's
or
18
should I go
plus.
visit
find some
that
rare
guy to
stuff,
buy that
so.
stuff? Okay, cool.
We're hands-off
So
handling
from
the
this
server
guy,
guild.
only person
Yeah,
who
the
has
server guild is
bags.
different. We're
Yeah,
just
once you
kind of
grab-
we're not
grab the
touching that for a
bountiful bag
while,
from
but
him. The
I'll
bountiful ones are pretty great.
I'll
I think they
restructure it
have
when the time
increased stack
comes.
size on them, so you can,
And probably
stack up
around Alpha
more
2 is when
herbs,
I'll
in
start
that bag
grabbing
than
more
you
people
can
for it
in
and hanging out
others.
that server quite more often.
See,
And
there
I'll probably
is a
drag
novice herbalism bag.
some other people into it as well.
And if
Yeah.
you scroll down on the bottom, there's Alien Herbalism Basket.
For those of you who don't know, the guild Discord,
Yeah,
although will still be called Sugoi or another name, I think I'll still call it Sugoi. Like,
sweet, awesome.
so it's a pretty good name.
Let's run
there will be
over
that
this
guild
way to the
Discord,
Stoneworks.
but there's also a
There's
secondary
another,
Discord for.
Gentleman over here that we
um,
can talk to. Kinda
I joined
standing
that Discord. Yeah, there is a
on
link to
screen.
join it. I think it's down below in the
You can do same
information
thing for him,
channel,
throw a
but
little
it's
gold at
it's
him,
separate
and
from my
give you some-
VTuber
give you
one,
some bags
and
and
I
stuff.
don't know if I want to merge them together
This guy they
to
sell
just make like a large
Novice
guild
Bountiful
Discord that's
Mining
also
Bag.
for VTubers.
Okay, got it.
Awesome. So now those,
It's hard to
those
say.
bags should be in your inventory.
Because although I do want to keep
and
them
if you
separated,
right-click
it's
them,
just a
they'll
lot more
equip,
trouble to
and then if you go
manage
over to your
two groups at
materials
the same
tab,
time. The channel's closed to
you
yeah,
should
it's
be
almost
able
all
to
closed off to the
see,
public,
those
unless you like
bags that
have
we got.
prior
Okay, so
approval
just
from
real quick,
me.
you were speaking earlier about the unique stack sizes as being part of the kind of asymmetric design for bag crafting. And these bags have specifically curated benefits for stack sizes of the type
There's a lot of,
resources
like,
they relate to, and that's the
these
specific
kinds of-
progression of gathering and the resources you would gain from those different.
I really like
progressions.
these
So
little
by
details that they
equipping
put
this
in the
herbalism
game
bag-
that make it more.
Whoops, let's see here.
It-
And then
It's
also
so hard
just-
to find the balance between quality of life and what's it called? Quality of life and
Now I've actually gotten a
like
unique looking
like clutter, I guess you could say it is, because I remember there was
the types of structures you would
in
expect them to gather that are the gather
what was it called?
correct?
In
Correct,
Crowfall.
So that's
That
not
was
necessarily to say that I
an
can't
example
collect
of them
non-herbalism
taking
resources.
like
I
hardcore
could,
playing to the
and I could put
extreme.
them in that bag,
And
but it just
my
wouldn't
first
utilize
example
the most
was they didn't allow
useful aspect
auto
of it,
walking
which
in the
is
game
time
because they
stacking
thought like
for
one of
those
the responses for when I
resources.
asked why don't they
Yeah,
auto walk
exactly.
in this
We can
game
also,
was why don't they just play the game for
you know,
you? And I was like I was so
there can also
shocked
be
that this was a
constraints on the
response that I
shape,
got from the
right? Like,
developers
we were
that
talking
I'm
about,
like
you can kind of
this is
see,
so dumb, and I
I'm
started
not sure
losing
what
faith in the game
materials
at that
you-
point.
you have
But
in your bags, but,
this
like,
is
I
a
have
completely different
pieces of
story. It
wood
seems
that
like they
are,
do
you
have an
know,
auto walk
1
feature,
by
or
3,
at least I hope they
and
do.
so in the herbalism bag, I'm not sure.
I
if
don't
there's
expect
any
something that
slots
like lets you
for-
walk to
for,
places
pieces of
for
wood that
you
are that
like
size,
BDO
right?
does,
So,
but I definitely
there'll be
prefer some sort of
constraints
auto walk
and,
feature.
benefits in terms of shape, and
I don't want to like
also,
have a
the
makeshift thing that
stack
holds
size
down my
based on
W
the-
key for
on
me.
the type. So
Okay, cool. Very
uh,
cool. So
I
now
haven't been
let's-
in been there. I don't think I will.
So a good
I don't think I
example would be
ever
if you
will
put
since I have
the
nothing to
mining
do with the
bag as
game.
well on top
Well,
of
you're
the
gonna play
herbalism
with me,
bag.
right, Reg?
You'll be able to see the shapes are different. But you can
My
see
job in
the
the game
mining
is
bags
mostly
are tier by
administrative
twos
as a
and
guild
herbalism
leader
bags
anyways.
are,
You can be the
1 by
mod
2s.
there.
So
True.
you can technically put herbs into your mining bags, but you won't get the benefit of
A new
the stat
name or existing
bonuses
ones? Yeah, we do have a lot of time
mining
to
stuff,
plan.
right?
Although in Alpha 2,
very
when the
cool.
NDA becomes like when the game becomes streamable and there's no
Also,
NDA on it,
the-
I will
the
be playing
earlier
this game
versions
a
might be very
lot, a lot, a
restricted
lot, a
in
lot, a lot, a
sizes,
lot.
So like the novice mining bags
With
and
some
all the
occasional
herbalism bags
IDV
are
action
very
on the weekends to do
shape
rank
restrictive, but as
5s.
you
But
level
I'll
up
drag
and make
anyone
better
who wants
bags,
to play into
might
this
be more
game with
generous
me. Of
shapes,
course, it's
so
very
you can
costly to get
technically
into
do some
Alpha 2.
other things as
I
well,
believe
and
the
then
price
have
point was
more
like
bigger
150
sizes
bucks or
that
something
will
like that.
be able to
So
hold more variety of things as
it's
well.
quite expensive to get in, but once the game comes out, it's a subscription model, and the box price is free. So you could play like essentially 3 to 4 months, or like probably half a
Oh,
year
yeah.
for
Definitely,
the
yeah.
game of the price of a box cost.
Sweet.
For me, then it's when
Oh,
it comes to
I see.
America.
Hold on, let me see here.
We could probably-
I also have a quest that
when's
relates
that?
to We Will
150.
Rise
It's
After
quite
Quitting.
expensive.
Oh yeah, that's the certification quest.
It's
So,
quite
as you mentioned
expensive
before,
as
we're,
a
we're
as a
planning
game.
on having some content
But
related
that being
to,
said, it's because they
onboarding
said that
players to
they have
different
more than enough
professions and,
testers
you're gonna
in the
need a tool
game,
for the first time, and
and
you're going to
this
wanna
is
craft a thing for the
mainly
first
for
time to kinda
testing.
learn how to
Like
do
the
those
game
things.
does not have
But
a
we also
box
wanna
cost when it
extend
comes
that
out, so it's
to
pretty
kind of
much
more
free,
of a
except for the
individual
subscription.
story arc,
It's not
like
free. I
experience
shouldn't
for
say that's
players.
free because it's
So
not.
as
That's kind of
you become
misleading.
a better
It's expensive
lumberjack,
because it is
you'll-
subscription. Yeah.
You'll play out your story as
If
a
you pay
lumberjack,
150 bucks though to
these
get into
different
alpha,
certification quests,
I believe they give
are
you
meant to be
your
kind of, keystone
that amount of
moments in that
time
story
you would
progression.
have
So,
in in-game
right now
time
we have
anyways.
something kinda
So
simple set
like
up.
if you
Looks
paid
like you
for their
already
$60
collected all
package,
the wood
you
that
would get
needed,
$60
right?
worth
We
of
also
in-game
need to
time
reach
anyways.
the level needed
So
to even
I believe that I think they give you half of that and then plus like in-game
so
credits in case you want to buy any cosmetics from the shop or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the ratio was, but there is some kind of. It's not like $150 and you get nothing but alpha access. It's like you get a bunch of stuff that comes with it, plus game time. I saw the price and it's the same as Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, it's about the same as 14.
Yeah,
Each of them are
yeah.
giving.
Like this game and 14 though are very, very different games.
Looks like I'm getting lumberjacking speed from the pants and from the
Subscription is better than most in-game purchases, though I can't keep a game running with Square Enix does 14. Yeah, it really depends. This game is fully funded by Steven, who's like a billionaire. And so I don't believe that there will be an issue with the funding of the game for at least however long I paid in to get the amount of enjoyment that I'm going to get out of the game. I believe it's going to be worth it. Not my cup of tea for 14. Yeah, it's not for anyone. It's a story-based game. You play 14 like you would play an RPG game. Because you can mainly clear all the content solo, and then raiding is kind of like it's fun, but it's doing a raid in 14 is kind of like a dance, whereas like raiding in World of Warcraft is more like a raid.
Buildings to really cater to the important industries to your region.
And this is more like a mechanical cluster, whatever.
Let me just take a look here. I know this is obviously, guys. This is
14 is part of the main storyline.
State this again. We always state this in every.
I would love playing. Yeah, if you've ever played like Arcade, it's very similar to that. There's a lot of really cool mechanics in this game.
That includes things like visual effects, like UI. These are all very functional states, but not necessarily at their polished states. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done there. I noticed that we have 3 slots for the equipment that I just put on, and they're not displaying visually, but we do intend to provide that visual display as an option to the characters, correct?
Correct, yeah.
It would be a toggleable thing that players could be do in the future.
Not gonna lie, I actually
Some
don't
assets.
like cosmetically how a lot of the armor looks. Not that I like really care about transmog, but like a lot of the armor that I think looks cool. It's not like as clown-like as it is in World of Warcraft, but or like over the top. It's some of it's very, very basic, like what this guy's wearing right now. But yeah, and also I was kind of hoping there would be a little bit more variance in character creations. I don't know how it's looking yet. Can I just cook in ashes and do nothing else? Yes, you can. That is something you can do. Because you can actually level, like your adventure level is something that is levelable just by doing things. Like you could just do fishing or own a farm and just do farming and then just do crafting and stuff like that. And you're still a pretty valuable asset to a guild or the part of the world.
It's beautiful. I really like the colors. It's turning out really good.
Like you can only engage in
That's my
PvE
favorite
if
season,
that's the way you want to
so
play.
far.
Like that's
But
perfectly
yeah, I have
viable.
things
Although you
to
might
do.
run into some PvP
Hey,
instances. That's
no
where
trying to
the
get
guild
lore
comes
out of
into
me.
play.
This
If you're
is a
part of a larger
conversation.
organization, you can focus more on
The one
what
thing
you want to
we
do.
like during a
And
live stream.
I know, right?
The lore.
The one thing.
I really love the.
I think the
leaf
armors were
falling
designed to
down
be
effect.
realistic rather than
It's really
fantastic.
well.
That's
Speaking
acceptable.
of,
If it's too
leaks,
flashy like it is in
now
World
that
of
I am,
Warcraft,
playing a ranger class,
you never know
you
what's
might see
going
a
on.
couple early,
Sometimes it's
look
too
at
many
the ranger
particles.
skills here
The-
in case we run into any potential
I will
resistance.
help design and decorating for the
But
guild.
next
course.
week we are doing a ranger update,
Although
and
like
it's gonna be
a
for
guild's
fun.
power is kind of
There's Little League. Little
a
League.
guild's power and
Nice.
influence
We'll
is
see how
kind
it
of
is. It's okay
directly
for skill
proportional
abilities,
to
but
like
not
the
for
amount of influence you can
That is
exert
true,
over an
right?
area.
Lore is saying
And
we're-
so
Unbelievable.
Ooh,
as a
we
guild, we
have-
do have to have like a
There's
good
little-
amount
something's
of
dropping out there.
PvPers or
dropping.
PvEers or a
Yeah.
good sizable amount of
Oh,
just
nice.
people
Oh, I
in
see it-
general
I
to
see it
play the
falling in
game.
the distance.
And I
Oh,
don't know
right.
exactly how
That's
many
great.
people we have,
Over
but
to the left.
based on the old Sugoi that we've
I
had,
think he's up on
it's
that hill.
at least
Get me into the,
we have around like 50 people who are used to be committed, but I don't know where a lot of them
oh,
are
wait,
right now.
This is Ash. We need hope, though,
It's
right?
been 6
So I
years
think-
Yeah.
since we all decided to change games.
Yeah, that
just
dash will
trying to
be helpful.
Nathan just trying to become Grandmaster before you, Steven.
Exactly. I will leave
Oh,
this
God.
land a barren wasteland.
He's,
There'll be no trees for you to chop.
He sicked some wolves on me.
Yeah, all part of my master plan.
Why is this always killing wolves? What the heck? This is
Yeah, I'd get a few
racism.
of these oaks, at least enough to level up, and then we need to find some basalt. Basalt is gonna have.
I love women with
the
actual
zinc
realistic
and
armor that
copper,
makes them actual tanks,
that you
but
need. Oh, here's some.
still have
over
feminine
on the
feature.
ridge.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah, up the cliff.
Assault.
Yeah, you can
I know what you're talking about. There's funny YouTube skits about that where like their entire chest area is exposed.
Wolf.
Oh, this is the corrupted area. More wolves. There's so many wolves. Stop killing them. I'll be your personal cook in the game. Yeah, we need like a cook. There's so many different skill trees in here. There's cooking. There's like okay, so there's 3 stages, right?
Yeah.
You have the gatherers,
Doing their job.
which is the first part. You have the processors, which is like turning the ingredients into proper materials, and then you have the actual alchemist
I think
that
you can grab
uses those
You're-
reagents
yeah,
to
novice.
create
The new
potions.
rubies that we
And,
just introduced with.
Like it's
chaos
3
physics
different
enabled.
steps that you all need either an
yeah,
individual
thanks
person
to
for
Noah
or
and,
like
some
someone who's
magic from
dedicated to
engineering.
that craft.
When you
I'll
see
be a
the
bad
gather, you see
tester,
that shutters.
the bed tester,
Oh, that's
sleeping in the
awesome.
guild 24/7.
Okay, that's super cool.
That's perfectly fine.
Additionally, if you open your backspace now, you'll see that your mining bag has now rubies, and it prioritizes based on
Like
your
this is one of
attack
those
size.
games when they talked about their leveling system. They mentioned that literally anything that you do will give you levels in this game, so you could do whatever
There's
you'd
some
like.
basalt. I think there's some over here.
Assault over here.
To the right.
It would still turn out fine.
There's one right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
there we
here's-
go.
Right here? No, this is opal.
Nope.
Right here.
Oh,
Opal. I can't even interact with the opal.
No, it's right here.
yeah.
Basalt.
Oh, don't we need opal?
Honestly,
think
I
so.
wouldn't
I
have
think we
recognized
need
that as a
night
mineable
opal,
node
which is the one
until I've
that
seen it like a
only
couple of
really
times.
appears at night.
Okay.
When I first tested the Alpha 1, they didn't even have this. But it looks like it's come a long way, and the
Oh,
amount
that's
of people that they
exactly
hired
what I
on
saw.
now seems to be
Nice, okay,
very
so you got lucky. You got the drop chance.
So this gave me
Yeah,
two
really-
things.
Seems to
It
be
gave
pretty
me,
good.
it gave me zinc as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So when you're mining stone, like we're trying to do stuff that makes sense, right, with the drops. So in stone you'll find metal and gems, and depending on the the tier and the type of stone, there'll be different kind of selection of gems and stuff that you can get in it, or metals. So.
Honestly, a spell that would
you may-
make
if
the
you're
staff more
trying
sturdy
to
or have
target
magic
a
blades would make
certain,
melee would be
metal, You
cool.
might want to consider.
I think
some
there
regular stone
is
as well.
that probably has to do with like
As you get
carpentry
better at,
or like
mining and
woodworking.
doing some
Something that
really good
makes
stuff, you'll kinda
stabs is
learn-
probably in
learn
woodworking.
the ropes.
Although,
there so you
like,
make better decisions.
I don't exactly know what the crafting is going to be
Additionally,
like.
as you gather,
That
you
looks like
can
a node
actually
that you
notice
can mine.
your,
I see
your
that
ability
one, 'cause
goes
it-
down for your
Ugh,
turn.
I hate to say it, but there is a Unity asset that looks just like that rock. and it's probably ported over from that to make it look like a node. And if all the nodes look like that, I'll be like,
Nice,
oh,
alright,
okay.
you got plenty
Well,
of
it's recognizable, it
replayability
stands
left.
out, but I'm like,
Good to,
okay.
good to repair when
It
you get
blends
into
in with the
town,
world
though,
quite
so it kinda
nicely
sucks
though,
when
so
you
I'm
find
okay
something
with
real
that.
nice and
As long as it's too like
durability's low or
non-repetitive,
tool's
I'd be
broken,
okay
you
with
just won't
that.
be able to get it. Ah, nice. Man, I really love the
You know, I
physics.
would have
It's like,
spent like 4
I
hours
remember
making my
the Gathering
character and then
stream,
be
you know, we're
broke
showing
buying
off,
costumes.
the trees, and we kind of like set a precedent with how that looks, and now we have to make all the other stuff just as cool. So the rocks and gems and metal were like kind of a big hurdle for us, and
There
having
goes
it
the
in a place
tree.
where it's starting to look really good, that was super exciting.
That was so cool. That was actually really cool. That should definitely knock you over. or
They'll
kill you.
probably do like a character creator.
Oh,
I-
I leveled.
Oh, yeah, so you can level
Hey,
up
there we
just
go.
by
Oh, I've
cooking
reached
or
it.
just by like cutting down trees
Oh
or
my
gathering
God, that just
things.
killed Mike.
You can level up that way, which is really nice.
I'm alive.
You don't have to
Trees can't
necessarily
kill
PvE or fight or do anything. What races
You
are they
you
using in
leveled
this
up, you said?
gameplay?
Yes,
I
it's
can't
all
really
up.
tell just looking at the
Okay,
character.
well,
You kind of have to see them in the
okay,
face,
so
but
when you level
there's
up, you're gonna
essentially
get some
two
skill points,
versions
and you
of
should be able to
4
put those
races.
in your skill tree.
Humans, dwarves.
You should pop that open.
There's like
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I have
so
a bunch
between the
already.
humans, there's like
Nice.
Western-looking humans and then like
Oh, nice.
Middle
Yeah, you
Eastern-looking
should spend
humans,
those and
and
poke
then
around in the
there's
tree a little
2
bit,
races of
but,
elves, which are like
that is something
high
that I wanted
elves
to
and like
do
wood
with,
elves-looking
artisanship,
people.
both, you know, in
There's
our-
2
in all
races of
3
dwarves, which are
branches,
mountain
so you'll
dwarves
have
and
skill trees
ocean
for your
dwarves.
profession,
They're like
so
sea people
those skill
dwarves.
trees you'll be able to
And
find
then
when you
there
have passives.
are
It'll
2
give
races
you,
of
stat
orcs, which are
bonuses
like
and, you know, predicates
the
for extra
traditional World of
functionality
Warcraft
within
looking
whatever the
orcs
profession
or
is, access
like
to
troll looking
stations,
orcs.
expanding
And then
out some of
there's a
the various
hidden
systems, like, you know,
ninth
you can see some
race,
of the
I guess you could
surveying
say,
ones, right? Like,
which is
you can
the
add extra
like
pylons
lizard
or,
people or
extra,
animalistic people.
scanning range, and
They have this
cooldown
animal-like
on
race?
how often you
Yes.
can survey. So we're trying to make those.
Can we commit
trees,
arson, destroy the guild?
interesting
No,
and
not
give
allowed.
people, you know, different paths
If
that
things
they can
get too
progress
chaotic,
through.
I will. Like, most of the things can't be done. Like, as long as there's
So
proper guild
obviously,
management for it. And for
I'm
me,
looking at this,
I'm very
sculpture
much
right
like.
now, and I see one side is dealing
What
primarily
I
with
really
gold,
enjoy
the
doing
other
is
side
like
is
building
dealing
things,
with,
like empire building, kind of like.
excuse me, with rarity,
And
with quality,
so like too much
the other
chaos
side dealing with
for
yield,
me
and
is
then
is
the
kind of
survey
uncomfortable.
system.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Talk to me a little bit about the survey system.
Yeah, so surveying is something that we're trying
I also
to
like that each race has unique
use for
perks to them. Yeah, they're
gatherers to
they're putting
really
the
kind of
racials
interact
back
with,
in, and I
the
don't
things
know
we wanna do with our
exactly.
dynamic
I
worlds.
don't
One of
love
that
it,
is-
but
one
I
of
don't
those
hate it
things is
either.
we want to be able to spawn stuff randomly.
Like if I
We
want to
want
be a
to
healer
put it
class,
in,
are they gonna force me to
places
be
in the
an
world that will
elf?
make people, you know, travel.
I don't know. I
and,
kind of don't want to be an elf.
bolster up our
I would
local
love to help you
player
manage the guild
economies,
for organizing
have
events to make
people, you know,
members.
kind of
Yeah, like
actually be
community
out in
event
the
stuff.
world looking for stuff and not
That's
standing in
officer
the same
work.
place waiting for a
I
tree
believe
or a
in
flower
in
to
guilds it's called
respawn over and
officers
over again.
or
So
admins.
we're kind of having the best of the both worlds, where we have our
I don't wanna be
lower-tier
human.
stuff
I
that
hate- I
will
don't wanna
fill
be human
out, you know,
either.
the base
Like,
look of our world, so
imagine
it's
playing a
always felt
fantasy game
good.
just to be human. Ugh,
And then
couldn't be
the
me.
higher tier stuff from Apprentice
If the
onward
other options are
will always
orcs,
kinda
elves, and
spawn
dwarves,
randomly
though,
in
like you don't
places
really
that we
have a lot of
deem that,
options. Are gonna be a
you know, look good and make sense for what that thing is.
forgot what they're called. Polnar.
So surveying is a way that you can track that stuff down. It will help you find places. It will help you find particular resources. It will help you find resources at a certain rarity. And yeah, so it should be, you know, something you could do as a gatherer on your own or group up with other people to.
I don't be
bolster up
Lalafell. That's 14 stuff.
the
That's
power of your
probably like
survey
gnome
or
though, if it's closer to that.
the range or reach of it. So, yeah.
Oh, it says I need a higher certification for this tree. It's
Oh.
a corrupted oak.
Oh, you need certification.
Gotcha. We
for
just
this.
leveled up, so I bet you if we went back to town
Oh my
and
god. There's some fucking crazy. Or excuse me. There's some crazy.
Oh no.
He just
Yeah,
swore.
Oops, that bleeped that out.
Oh, that's one of the
Right up
world
there.
bosses
That's
in the
awesome.
area.
I would say the same thing if I saw
I
that.
know.
Oh, geez.
ancient
Are you gonna use the
horror.
game
away
name
from
for
a
your
gentleman.
character, Naos? You're using a new name?
let's,
I'm probably gonna use
Back
my
up a
name.
little bit.
Yes.
Yep.
How are you doing?
You
on
know
week
what's
points,
weird?
by the
I'm
way?
one of the
How
few
many are? One
VTubers
second,
out there who
Reggie,
don't have a
yes,
last
let me
name.
pull that up. I have 3 copper, 22 basalt, 17.
Even my like all my friends have
5
last names,
ruby,
or like that a second part to
number of
that name.
dandelions,
I guess
and,
Girl DM doesn't have a second part
daffodils.
either.
It's plant fibers. Okay, that's cool. And a bunch of.
Nice.
I'm looking at the top.
And as
Like
you
my
notice,
most
all
watched,
those
it's
materials actually
well,
sorted
I guess
nicely
Shoto
in the
doesn't have one
appropriate
either.
bags based on your stack sizes.
Oh yeah, that is pretty nice. So it didn't
Hikawu
misplace them
Awu.
in
That's
a
your last
different
name. That's
bag than what is best.
not his last name.
Yeah, it prioritizes basically the best stack size first, and then it finds the other empty spots after.
Yeah,
That's a pretty nice quality of life feature.
I guess Seal doesn't really have
Definitely.
one either.
We,
Never mind. There's plenty of
you
people who
know,
don't have it.
there was
When
a
they
lot
ask
of
me for a last
discussions
name, I'm gonna be
about,
like,
you
I don't know what to hear.
the spatial inventory and the different stack sizes, and you know whether that could cause like confusion for players or extra stress.
If someone has my
on,
name in game, it's an
sorting of
imposter.
Inventory, and I was like, all right, well, no
I
matter what
I
we
don't
do,
see
we
a lot
gotta
of
try and make
Kichis.
this, as easy and usable for players as possible. And luckily, really smart people like Alex and Alec and our UI team, Colby and the gang, that are helping us make the system that we want function really nicely.
Honestly,
So,
I
that
don't
was one of those
love
features,
this UI, but I don't hate
that
it very
came on.
much
It's like,
either.
all right, well, I don't,
I
have
don't
to every
dislike
single
it,
time I
but
get
I don't love
something,
it.
Look and see what bags. The
I
best
love it a
fit
lot
in.
more than it used to be, but
The code
yeah,
can do it
I don't
for
hate
us,
it.
so.
Very cool.
That's kind of ambiguous.
Nice.
Oh, we
Alright,
should
we're ready to head back now?
Yeah, let's head back to town and get your apprenticeship.
I haven't seen him
Yeah.
looting anything.
Now, obviously, let's talk a little bit about how.
Oh, he might have. I just haven't noticed it.
gathering is a bit different in Ashes.
You thought I said it?
One
What?
of the most unique things about, I think.
Oh.
the
Yeah, I
world
can't see the character names aren't
obviously
highlighted in
number
the
of
background of
different
this area,
systems
so I
we
can't
have
tell if
that
Reg or
change
Kichi's
the world
talking.
state. We
I have
just
to
saw
highlight the
a
names to
corrupt
check.
zone. Hold on, let's go this dude. Oh, okay, he died. We just saw a corrupt zone, and that zone becomes corrupt.
I think I gotta go
after
sleep
a
now. I
period
feel a
of
bit
time
dizzy.
in which
Okay, no
players are not
problem.
addressing some
Have a good
issues
sleep,
that
Kichi.
arise,
I know it's really late for
through
you,
certain
like 3
events,
a.m.-ish.
through certain story arcs.
Have fun, everyone. Can't
And
wait for
that
the game to come out.
corruption
Yeah! I'm really
and
looking forward to it. See if they have any future
changes
announcements, like,
the
maybe an
spawners
actual
for
date or, like,
resources
a
and
rough general
for
timeline.
monsters,
Even if they
and
tell me,
that
like,
has a
Q1, Q2,
fundamental
Q3, or
effect
Q4,
on the resource
it would be a
economy of
huge
the
boon
game.
to making my plans for the year.
Yeah, definitely.
'Cause I have a trip coming up in May,
It gets
and I'll be
players
gone
out
for
in
a
the
whole
world,
week.
searching for,
Anyways, have a good night, Kichi. 4 a.m. Yeah, I
different
imagine
things
it's really
that
late,
are
3 or 4.
predicated on,
I forgot about
the
daylight
dynamic
saving
parts of
times.
our world, right? We can do stuff with day and night time. We can do stuff with seasons. We can have things that are specifically related to some event or story arc or corruption, even particular locations, right? The regionality of a biome, some frozen tundra place that's completely covered in ice versus the riverlands and the lushness there. So don't want to just have that stuff in and not be
Oh, that
doing
box
anything
was
with it.
freaking
So
out.
we're trying to play on that for gathering, and open up the diversity of stuff that you can process and craft by finding those things. So
I was gonna ask Mao to come watch this video with me,
We
but
mentioned
he's
actually
apparently there's a
the
new
time of
card
day,
coming out in Legends of
seasonality is a
Runeterra,
big part of
so
that world state change.
yeah.
And as I understand it, we have a number of different. Oh, let me see here. Let me go over to.
It's a lot nicer to I mean, both things are good for me to be able to commentate on the video and also have a conversation with you guys about what I want the guild to be like and stuff like that. But I'm gonna have to rewatch this video because I'm so behind on
They were part of your Nightblade, right? The
like
moon
actually
bells
hearing what they
and
have to
the
say.
Night opals. Night opals.
A lot of this seems
like,
pretty
do not
basic though.
reveal
Unless I see like
themselves,
something really crazy come
during
up
the
on the
daytime.
screen, I'm usually like,
Surprise,
oh,
surprise.
this is what that is.
And then the moon bells are similar. Yeah, they only bloom at night. So
Oh, that's cool.
if you're looking for those in particular, you want to keep an eye on the day-night cycle and know where they're found. In the
That's
world.
really neat. I love that
And, yeah,
there's
I
like
do have
certain
some
things that only
powers
happen at night.
if we
They're switching
want to
perspectives right
perhaps
now,
change it to nighttime that I could use.
which is weird. There's no UI on that
Yeah,
other
it'll
guy's
take a
screen.
while, probably for us to get to nighttime.
Well, there's no like
At
ability
least a few
UI, so I
hours,
don't
so-
know how he's doing things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
Maybe
it.
there's a way to hide it
Hold on.
if you
Stand
want
by.
like a picture. There's probably a screen cap mode. They really love this, like,
Oh my.
oh
goodness.
god, it's so pretty.
There we go.
Wow. Ooh. Okay.
It's
Things are
looking
getting
good.
A little freaky deaky out here. you guys will probably notice that the nighttime is significantly darker than when you guys last saw our nighttime update. We saw feedback from the community that bringing in the field of vision through the lighting in the environment was something you guys.
I hope they do
noticed,
something cool with
and
like
that's what
the
we
lighting
have
with the
adjusted
eclipses or something like that.
Now, I'm excited because I have a certification that I think, update now, right?
Yes, you should be able to upgrade your lumberjacking to apprentice, which give you access to new tool, so we can craft one of those if you want. We should make your chopping faster, help you find some rare stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's see here. I'm gonna accept.
By the way, welcome in, Michael Foots.
There we
Oh,
go.
Xiaoi's here and
Box.
Rosa. Hi.
Yeah, so I think if you open your artisanship
No
window,
IDV
if you
today,
look at
guys.
your
Sorry.
lumberjacking, it should say that you're an apprentice now.
Yes,
There we go, and you got a nice little
nice.
chunk of XP from that too. It's
Yeah,
nice.
that was pretty good.
Cool. So now that you've done that, go. I think this anvil. Yeah, this is the same anvil as the herbalism. See if you can craft a tool there. What materials do you need?
It says that I need zinc fragments and oak timber for novice lumberjacking. The apprentice requires zinc fragments with copper fragments and oak timber.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's all novice stuff. So, so the way that the certification stuff breaks down is that everyone gets to be a novice everything. So all 22 professions the players get to be novice of. And then it starts kind of like narrowing from there. So after that, you'll only be able to be an apprentice of 5 things. You can be a journeyman in 4 things. You can be a master in 3 things, and you can be a grandmaster in 2 things.
Nice.
So you'll need to narrow, but you can also sort of diversify to support the professions that you want to first push further in. So
now, obviously, those are.
They're
those
probably going to
restrictions
include
are in
something later
place in
on that
order
lets you
to
respec.
create a
Hey, Giovanna,
dependency
welcome in.
Cross player faction, right? For how
Player
players
faction.
specialize their progression in the artisanship trees.
yeah, I mean, like, being social is important to us, right? Like we want players to interact with each other. We want the professions to make stuff for the other professions that are useful. I influenced quite a bit by the Star Wars Galaxies
See if
style
I can make this
crafting,
bigger
and
for you
just
guys.
having people in your network that can supply the metal that you need to make your armor, and the flowers that you need to make your potions, and maybe the potions that you need to make your enchantments.
No, I
That to
think I
me
will
was
make it the right
really interesting
size.
and part
Oops.
of the gameplay of
Just
the
messing with it
economic
a little
gameplay
bit.
of being a good crafter, being a good gatherer, is having that system. So and it really plays into the
Yeah, we'll just keep it like this.
economic field of a particular server, right? You can come in and be like, I want to be the potion mogul here, right? And like having good sources and having a guild that supports you is just really interesting. And without sort of narrowing down what you have access to yourself, it takes away from the ability to achieve that, right? So
Yeah.
We're kind of
So
saying
now,
all the
okay,
right
we're gonna be
words right now.
creating this, you said apprentice tools. What do I need to do that? It said fragments, zinc fragments, and I think copper fragments.
awesome. So the zinc fragments and copper fragments are going to be from the metalworking profession, and then the oak timber will be from the lumber milling profession. So since we're here, we can do the lumber milling, and this is the station that you need right next to us. So this is the debarker. This is one of the few stations that lumber milling has. As the debarker, the head saw.
They're gonna have to
I
like
think the
make it a
drying
little
kiln,
bit more obvious
along
where
with
the
the
crafting
refinery.
stations
So
are,
this is
because
the
I would not
metal
have guessed
station.
that this was interactable.
And I think this is an apprentice version here.
It's nice to
since
see it
we're
now,
at a
though.
service building that's built. The service buildings usually come stocked with some better base stations. And
My
then
head
you
is
can
covering
kind
parts of the UI. Sorry
progress
about that,
them
you
from there,
guys.
depending on how you expand the buildings. But so why don't you interact with this? And yeah, I think this is the first time that we've ever done any processing.
Any processing, yes, absolutely. Now we alluded to it a little bit when we were showcasing the freeholds, but this is everyone's first look at kind of how processing works. And as you said, we're looking to make some oak timber here.
Putting on my blanket.
And as I've clicked on the oak timber to add fuel, it says, to the oak timber side. Talk to me, Mike, a little bit about what fuel does for processing.
Hey, welcome in.
So fuel is the basic requirements on top of the resources that you need
They're gonna
to
add a
craft the
fuel?
thing. So every processing
I don't know how I
station
feel
will
about that.
require some kind of a fuel to automate the
Oh,
process
it's for
to make
automation.
these processed
Okay, that's fine.
resources.
You know
So
what?
most
That's a
of
really
the
clever idea,
resources
and I
or
like
any
how
type of resource or
I like
items
how
could technically
they
have
do
a fuel
stuff like
value
that.
attached to them, and then each recipe will require some kind of a fuel value to.
I like this. This is
to
very
be
neat.
met
I
to be
like
able to
I like how they
process
do
these things.
crafting in
So
this
think of
game.
it as like if you're melting ore, you need to put fuel to fire to melt the ore, right? So that
Right.
kind of concept exists on all our processing stations. So when you click on it, you should be able to put the oak wood or anything that you have gathered
I have the oak wood.
Yeah.
So I've added
So-
one of the oak wood, and then I
Yeah.
see
I
I
can
also
point
have
at it with my
number-
ears.
Herbalism resources here as well. Do those act as fuel potentially?
Yeah, most of our resources will have some kind of a fuel value to it, and like I mentioned, like some items do. But
Okay.
for this recipe, you'll only need one. Some other recipes might need 100 or 50, etc., etc. But the thing is, some items might be just catered towards being a fuel, right? So something like charcoal or something like coal, something like anything that is just designated as a fuel will just have a very efficient fuel value. So you kind of want to save that for higher recipes, or something simple like this one. You can pretty much use anything that's common or lower or degrade or sorry, the tier 1 items to be in the fuel.
Okay. So I've added in the wood for the fuel.
Hi, Hikaru.
Now
Hey,
it's-
how's it
has-
going?
My fuel has been selected.
Yue, hello,
Start the
hello.
job. It says that the
Can I
duration is
interest
1
you in an
minute.
MMO?
Now I'm noticing at the top of the process.
How you doing today?
That we have.
We're
3
watching
available
the Ashes of
slots. We've got a
Creation
queue
live
of
stream.
players
It's live
that
right now on
use.
their channel.
Um,
I'm just doing my
it
own
shares
commentary on it,
themselves.
and I'm very excited
For-
for this game. And if you
For
like
Node,
MMOs,
it's personal,
you should check
so
it out
we
as
didn't
well.
wanna
I'll get you into it.
congest like only 3 spots for every single person in the node. That would have been pretty bad. So
Oh, good thing they
it's-
moved
the
it, 'cause
queue
my-
system
oh,
is
shoot.
only for yourself, but
My head is in
something
there.
personal like freeholds would be station based. So
Okay, so you
if
do
5
need
people
fuel
wanted
to
to use
craft.
one station at the freehold, you have to wait in line, and then that kind of comes into the family system we talked about on the freehold live
I'm
stream,
always looking
where
for new games.
you want to have
MMOs
limited
are kind of
access
a
to whoever
commitment.
is viable for the fuels or for
Like-
the stations.
Okay,
but
so someone
for
actually
any
process it
service
for
buildings
you?
in the node is all personal, so you can queue up as much as you want, and then someone else can just come by and use the same station and then queue up for their station.
That's
But-
awesome.
Interesting.
Additionally, it will also be influenced by nodes. So like right now you see 3, but it could be 5, it could be 2 simultaneous jobs, etc. Based how your node grows.
Got it.
That
So
guy
there are
sounds
specializations
really
that the
Asian.
processor
Not gonna lie.
can take if the node should elect to do so, and citizens participate in that upgrade that would increase that size or perhaps even the efficiency of the processing jobs as well, both speed, quantity of receipt, any rarity procs, anything, all of those play a role in upgrade potential that the node might choose to specialize in.
They
Right.
definitely
But,
are.
Just
Yeah.
like when we discussed.
Oh,
in the
hey,
fuel live stream
Squishy,
as
thank you
well,
for the follow.
node,
Welcome in.
Processing only goes up to journeyman, so if you want
Wait
to
a
do
second.
the
Is this
highest
a-
tier of processing,
The
you
Talnar
probably wanna
Beastman
stick
race have
out
more
the
customization
freehold,
freedom. I did see that,
owners,
yeah.
basically.
They have Oh, thank you for the stretch and hydrate. Did you...
Did I?
They do have a lot of customization that I did see,
Can't claim it yet.
but it's very like
I need to,
Your backspace
to
is
get-
full.
who
well, how do
needs
you say?
this cheap glint here?
The customization is very different. Like from what the customization options that they showed, there's like
Are you
lizard
throwing money away?
people,
That's
there's
very
cat
cheap.
people. I don't see any
Additional
wolf-based
thing I would like to
people.
add for
I
processing, as you can say,
I was
is you
hoping they'd have
could
like
cancel the job. Also, so like let's say
what's
you
the
accidentally
Final
schedule
Fantasy
wrong one, and the
14
only thing
equivalent
that
called?
gets consumed is the fuel.
The
fuel
Cat
is
Boys.
basically a sink for these.
I wish they had
jobs.
wolf boys.
Got
I would
it.
love to be a wolf boy. But if you
So
go
there's always
beast
something
people,
regardless if
you're
you cancel
full
the job or
beast,
not.
like full
Yeah,
fur.
Another thing as well is that
It's the furry race.
When you're choosing the job,
The race
you'll
caste, the
see kind
caste
of on
system.
the side that
Yeah.
we have something called job
I don't
size.
know how I feel
And
about
right
that.
now, Right now, there's.
I
only
mean,
the ability
if the
to make
race that I
a
want to
job
pick
size,
has
but,
the highest cast in the
this,
cast
in the same
system,
vein of,
I'm all for it.
you know, this
But
having
the
like
likelihood
more
of that
jobs
is
that you can
not
queue
high.
and like better stats that make them go faster or proc extra resources. Job size is another thing that we could do, right?
There's so much
So
information on
we
this game out
probably
there.
don't want to
How you
use
doing, by
3
the way,
entire
Squishy?
slots just to make
Happy
3
what day
pieces
is it?
of oak
Thursday?
wood, but if you had a job size that
I'm sorry, I
was
had to move my
20,
Tuesday stream over to
you'd be able
Thursday.
to
I
make
had
all
something
20
to
of
do on
those
Tuesday.
with
It was
the
a
one
lot of
job
learning
size.
new
So,
stuff, and
so that's a little
also
different than what people
for
are used
Thursday,
to
I
with,
had
you know,
to.
I'm making exactly
This wasn't really put on
17
my
pieces
schedule,
of
nor was it
road timber.
announced.
You might need to,
But
you know,
this is the
do
day
a
that
job size
the
of
it just
5
happened to land on
plus
the
1
Ashes
if you need
creation
specifically 6. So
stuff. So here we are.
Awesome.
yeah,
So
we
those are
I
also
thought it was gonna be on
ways behind
Thanksgiving, but it's actually the week
customization
after it.
options that the node can participate
That's
in,
great.
as well. And perhaps
They
some
really said they had to get it
policies
in
and
before the
relics,
12th
like all
or
those
the
things are an
30th.
intricate web of boons, benefits, and downsides that apply to these.
Because now they're gonna have to do one for the new year, but I don't know when
Exactly.
they're gonna do it for the new
Very
year.
cool. Love it. All right, so we've
Cool, so
made
I
some
really
tip-
hope they get like a
gotcha.
workable
Yeah,
alpha
let's head down
sooner than later.
to,
Or I
this
probably
might
won't be
over
doing
here.
the
There
non-NDA
should be a
tests.
crushing station.
Or
You can crush up
I won't be doing the
yeah,
NDA
copper and zinc
tests.
that you got into fragments.
I might.
And then we should have.
But
what
I
we need
definitely
to
will
make you a
be
new
doing the
pickaxe
non-NDA ones, because then I
or,
can stream those.
axe. Yeah. So this is the crushing station right here.
Nice.
We'll see how much they give like content creators the freedom to do stuff.
All right.
It's really nice of you to have built all of these artisanship service buildings. Look at all these jobs that you're creating. This
I
guy
know.
stays here. He gets to hang out all night, crushing rocks,
I
doing
think
stuff.
That is awesome.
Yeah, great for the economy. Really, really great mayorship decisions.
Thank you.
It is work and a
That's why
half
I'm
to
a
get
term
like
after
anything
term
done
mayor.
in this
There's
game
no
too.
term limits at
But
all, so what we
it's
like
that's
to
not
do-
necessarily a bad thing.
My personal investments have somehow miraculously
Not necessarily a
exceeded the
bad
greatest
thing.
returns of any citizen of the mayor.
Agreed. I think there's only been one other mayor that was Alec, and I haven't seen him for a really long time.
That's
so
right. That is right.
Am
Poor
I-
Alec.
His family members actually came by looking for him too.
Oh no. Okay, so I need to make copper fragments and zinc fragments.
yeah,
So I'm gonna kick off. I'm gonna add some fuel here. Oh, okay, cool. That's cool.
I actually forgot what he was making. It was a recipe that he learned right at the start of the game. And I don't know if these recipes are limited to like crafting a
see
staff or a
the
bow
NPC
or
working
like some
real
kind of
hard.
weapon. If they'll have woodworking for boats or buildings and stuff like that, you need different kinds of
he
resources.
needs a raise.
Different bundles and stuff.
There we go. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and just a comment too on that, right? Like, we're trying to sort of marry the visuals with what's actually going on at the station, right? So if you have a job queued, and you're trying to do errands throughout the
Is
node
this
or
how
your
you
freehold
normally
or whatever,
process
right? Like,
stones
you
or
should be able to
minerals?
look at the station and know what's going on with it. So he's there working, and once he's done, he's gonna stop, and you can be like, okay, there's stuff ready to pick up, and have some visuals associated with that. So as much as we can have stuff rooted in world instead of throwing a bunch of UI in the player's face, that's something that we're trying to do and is important to us.
I'm curious how the node
Yeah,
determines
to
if
add to that,
someone's
it's,
an enemy
personal,
or
right?
not.
So it's only like other people won't see you
It-
doing your
it kinda-
processing.
Got it.
Yeah, I really am
In
curious.
nodes, right? The freehold ones would be since they are relevant to
Maybe
the
they
people
only
that have access to it,
determine people of
you'd be able to see
opposing.
that a job is
Like
going, right?
nodes aren't really owned. Are they owned by specific people or are they owned by
Dedicated
guilds and
worker.
stuff? I really have to see
Yeah.
it. But there's probably
Definitely.
some questions that I have.
So now, just to
Or
remind
some more
folks,
research that
obviously,
need to be
when we
done.
talk about,
Because they say a lot of things, but I don't know if they changed it
processing
in the
as one branch of the
in the
artisanship
post-production
tree,
stuff.
even though you have access to all branches throughout the world up to some level of degree, best processing is done on freeholds, and the best crafting is done in nodes, right? When we talk about workstation availability. But there is some overlap there, as those of you will remember from our freehold live stream.
Am I hearing
You
an echo
do
on his
have
end?
up to a certain point to progress available to you for both gathering, processing,
he's done.
and crafting, without needing necessarily a freehold.
Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
much,
So go ahead, Mike.
Up to journeyman, you'll be journeyman's type of gathering, crafting, and processing should be available pretty much everywhere. And then the specializations really kicks in at the master and above.
Awesome. I have
I've been
indeed
shrimping this whole time.
acquired now some fragments.
Right on. Well, let's head back up to the crafting station next to good old Woody Gungan and make yourself an apprentice axe. And I think we should be able to.
Chop that corrupted tree down.
Yeah, that's right.
There's so many steps
And then
here.
also now that it's night,
What is he
while we're
making
out there,
again?
you
Like,
guys
if
can
this
try to
makes
have
only a
some of
green
the-
tier item, I'd be like,
what are the other ones
okay.
that I need?
The night opal. Yeah, I
But
think
it's
Mike
from what I
has high
see,
mining,
usually in
night
those
opal,
games, the green
night
ones are
opal.
significantly
And
better.
then
It's
I
got to be
think-
worth
I
it to
think
craft something like
moonbells
this.
are novice, so you should have access to those.
All right, so I'll grab the moon bells.
Perfect.
All right, I'm crafting my new apprentice lumberjacking axe.
Ta-da!
It is equipped.
Nice.
I didn't see him equip it.
See?
Cool.
Ah, very
Sweet.
cool.
Oh.
It's there.
Oh, this is a equipping
fast is
tool.
it?
It's
Okay.
30 lumberjack
I
axes.
like that you don't
Nice.
have
I
to
think the other
switch
one was,
off.
Like only 5, so you should be fast.
I forgot
When we
to
get out there,
do
we should race. See if you can chop the tree down faster than me.
that. All right, let's do it. I'm ready. Let's
right.
go. I actually really like the nighttime. I think it was
Yeah,
a,
it's
it
looking
was a
really good.
call from the community to tune this a bit more on the darker side.
Oh, shooting
They
star. You see
probably only use the guards to attack corrupted players.
Make
I
a
don't
wish.
know exactly what the
Oh, I
penalties
wonder
are
the
for
moon.
corruption, but
Yeah,
one
I
of them
think
should
that
be you aggro the guards.
Looking pretty nice.
I feel like being a corrupted player
It might be
should come with
left
like
here.
a host of really, really bad or
I like the Harbinger moon.
We'll
like
see.
really
Is it
bad
getting
things.
closer?
Is it no?
Oh no.
Don't say that.
Debuffs, I should
That's
say.
not what we want to hear.
Kill the moon.
So,
Do it.
Corey, tell me a little bit like when right now we're in this night phase. Oh, I love the fireflies too. Noah did a great job on these.
Oh, yeah,
Noah,
that's really
Noah
pretty.
is next level. We love
Very
Noah.
cool.
Noah, we love you.
Obviously, moving to night now is going to give us access to these moon bells and these night opals.
There's
But
so
when
many
things like
fireflies.
the world state change, whether it be corruption.
Does
related
anyone
or
like
time,
fireflies? I quite don't like
It's not
bugs.
just an introduction of rare materials; it also is a removal of some other materials as well, potentially. So it is a, and some world state changes, like we talked about with corruption, if not addressed, can significantly alter the flow of resources across the world in such a way that creates a bit of turbulence in the world market and economy. And that's what we're trying to achieve with these world state changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can see,
I like that. I like that.
Out in the open, the night opals lit up. Those little blue lights.
Oh,
all
that's
over the place.
neat.
That wasn't there
Okay.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see moonbills as well. By the
Oh my
trees.
gosh, that does so much damage.
Very
Nice,
cool.
so you
the
should be
moon
able to grab
opals lit
those.
up. That's awesome. Those were just
Yeah.
kind of just basic little rocks.
Yeah. So
Oh,
like a,
that's
you
what
know,
that is.
We thought those were all opals, and they were opals during the day, but at night, some of them are actually night opals. So, pretty cool. Oh look, level
So-
up again.
Oh, nice.
Crushing it.
My herbalism.
So when you do,
Herbalism god.
you probably do need a little bit of adventuring level. You probably can't avoid that.
These moonbills didn't exist before too. We're at the same spot.
Yeah.
Oh.
my
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
These wolves
no,
do
the wolf.
nothing. The wolf,
They
kill
went,
them, my brothers. No. Don't kill the wolf. They can be your friends.
Mike,
They're
no.
way
I'm, like,
overleveled.
max leveled, so I'm just slaughtering these wolves.
Max level?
Can
What
you
my?
pet the dog, Steven? No, but I can shoot it with an arrow in the face.
See if you kick
I'm
them,
kind of
dude,
curious
nicer
as to
than me.
what max
Wait,
level
let's
is,
chop the
but I don't
trees
see an
down.
indicator of
Right,
his
right,
level.
right.
Hey, where you at? Where you at?
I think they've
Right.
said it was 50, or did they say it was
Alright, I'll
50?
start.
Wait, no, hey, no, wait. Okay,
Three,
3, 2,
two.
1, go. Wait, no, we messed up. We can do this. How many people does it take to chop down a tree? Okay.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't
They're
matter.
killing
you
wolves
just
for
wait faster.
fun.
One,
I
quick,
cannot
quick,
believe
2,
this.
3.
They're slaughtering my people. This is a genocide.
Oh, you just got
Um,
wrecked.
Excuse me.
You just got wrecked.
This is where PvP starts.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir.
Give
That's
me
my
the
number.
wood.
I wonder if
there
these
any
moon
true
opals are kind of rare
Let's go cut
material or
down
not.
that corrupted tree.
Oh yeah. That's why we're here, huh? There we go.
Yes.
This looks really cool at night.
Looks so good at night.
Yeah,
Oh man.
looks
There's
really
the
ominous.
Spooky dude again.
He's just chilling up there.
I wonder how
Yeah,
this corruption,
Zionist.
like,
He's waiting.
it really depends on how this corruption
Will we
works.
approach
Like,
him?
Stay
I
away
would
from
really
that
love to
guy.
know the mechanic behind where it shows
Looks
up
like
and
one-shot
how
city
it.
up there.
Yeah, it feels like you
These,
get one shot here.
Blood-boiled spirit foods.
Yeah,
This is some kind of herbalism
I can tell you
thing.
the lore behind that, or never mind.
Alright,
Yeah,
let
got
me
some of those.
grab this thing.
I wonder what those little red motes are. If you can collect those. PvP at night seems fun.
Oh, bam! Tree explosion.
What do you think, Mike? You want to take on this ancient minion over here?
I'm really curious though.
I
Like
thi- I think
PvP
we
at
need
night will
nurse to
definitely have
counting
its.
time. That was like
Like
less than
with
2
the
seconds.
visibility that it
Yeah, that
is,
was
it
really-
really
that
is
was
hard to
like
see in
in
some
there and out of
areas.
there.
It depends how they have their
Maybe
UI
a
set
little
up.
balancing
'Cause if you
factor,
can, like-
Jerry. Take that note down.
If you
Mike.
could tab over to someone and then just see
Yeah,
like,
tab where you
because there's
want
it's
it.
pretty much
Exactly.
Way to go, Steven.
Sorta like
How
tab
are you
targeting,
nerfing Lumberjack?
I
and-
know.
if you could just
Alright,
constantly
let's-
like
so
hit tab
now
on
we- do we
occasion,
have
which
all
is
the
something
materials?
I've
Did you
gotten
guys
used
get the
to,
night
you can kind of see everything
I
that's in
got
front
some.
of you without having to
Sweet.
target.
Trade you back in town.
But yeah, like having these really darkly shaded areas, like okay, so if an NPC is like in the shadows right there, it'd be really hard to see. But that the name is really lit up there, like how
Yeah,
it
all
says
these
Slate Wolf. So it's like, okay, well you're not hiding from anyone if I can see your
now
name
talk
clear
to
as
me a
day
little
like
bit
that.
about the sword that we're going to be crafting. Obviously, itemization in Ashes of Creation is not restricted based on class, right? So anybody can wear kind of anything, whatever is most beneficial towards their particular strategy and class kit.
They
build.
ruined the assassin part.
But
Yeah,
how
I
do
don't
you
know if
influence
that
from a crafting
necessarily is going to be do that. They probably have a
So
they might have an
the
ability
recipe
that
you
hides their
learned
UI, or they
is
probably have like a
somewhat of
stealth move,
unique
you know.
sword. We
So-
wanna introduce as,
or like a shadow meld.
mid-level, maybe a little bit high, but generally for itemization purposes, we want to have a viable option for every build that players want to try. I know
I
that's
don't
a bold
think Steven
statement.
knows where his city is.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
like,
it's a little bit-
where
the
are we?
minimap to the left.
Oh, I just noticed
Where
the
are we
minimap
going?
on the top
Yeah,
right.
the
Where
minimap
is
top
this
right,
place?
guys. Come on.
Is this
I almost
I
forgot
always
that the
get lost
minimap
out
was
here when I
there,
take my
which
nightly
I
strolls.
kind of like. Like the minimap should be there, but it shouldn't like
All right, sorry, Mike.
take up
please
too
go.
much of your screen. So I think they did a really good job with that.
Feel that
The
way.
topography is
Um,
really good too. There was
What
one
was I
thing
saying?
in
Anyways,
the
I was saying
the Alpha
that,
1, a lot of
we wanna
the
support every
points
kind
of interest
build
were kind of messed
that
up,
player wants
so-
to try out, and I know that's a bold statement, but that is something that we're gonna attempt.
I might play
Which
the hell
means,
out of
a lot
the
crafting
NDA
recipes
version
will
though,
need to
just so I
support
can
variable stats,
get a head
variable
start, and then
playstyles,
I can teach
for this
stuff
weapon,
on my
for
end. Because I do want to be a
particular
content creator
was,
for this game as well.
somewhat of a
And with that
unique
comes a
sword
lot of like
because it's a sword that
learning
has
it for
magic
myself, or maybe
penetration,
teaming up with a
so
couple of
something
other
that
content
mages
creators.
maybe might be able to
To see
use,
how that
or,
goes.
Clerics. And then if we go to the crafting
Oh,
station,
sorry.
weapons right here. See?
All right.
You should give him the. You
Oh
have the
right, you
resources,
need my
right?
night
Yeah.
opal. Right. I
Yeah.
can trade you.
Done. Okay, we got some night opals. Sweet.
Accepting trade.
Wait,
All right.
okay, so that's
Boom!
trading.
Got some night opal.
Trading
do
menu
this.
looks fine.
Now
Right.
Yeah, so
So now I see I have my learned recipe. The night blade is under weapons category. Okay, that's cool.
not sure we touched on this on different live streams, but our crafting menus
So
will
you could,
have
like,
some required
mass
materials,
produce
so
these.
those are
Will you
the
still play
things that
IDV
you
when
must
AOC
have
comes
at
out?
that certain
Yeah,
area.
I will play it
So
on the
night
weekends. Like
opal
pretty
and
much
the
right now, I
is
only play it on the
required, and then we
weekends
have the
anyways,
selectable section,
because that's when rank
where you
5s
can
opens
put
up.
different rarity amounts.
I'll probably
We
limit it
wanna
a
do
lot
the,
more to just rank
the
5s.
zinc one first, Steven. So
Okay.
cancel
But
out
I'll be
the
streaming
zinc
so
one,
much
and then now you
just
can
of this
see
game,
that
though.
the item itself was uncommon, and then if you add the fragments in. and
Oh, I see
then-
what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the uncommon night blade is here.
That's
but
the
by
default.
adding in these legendary zinc fragments.
Oh.
It's rare.
Okay.
And now you
cool.
can see there's additional properties onto the item, so things change. And then if you put the oak timber, also at legendary.
Also
This is
legendary oak.
this is
Okay, got
interesting.
it.
And then
Oh
now
my
it becomes a
God.
heroic version of it, and then
Nice.
stats increase. So
Okay,
these are
cool.
the things that we kind of want to explore on the crafting side, where we introduce maybe a new stat line or a different proportion or ratios of stats at certain tiers.
That's neat. I like
And
that.
when you craft these items with using better materials, the rarity of the item increases. For demonstration purposes, we're using legendary, but basically when you use a higher tier than the recipe is intended for, so we could technically build this item with common oak
Right.
timber
So this
laser
is
fragments, and that
probably
would produce an uncommon
a
item,
caster
but
weapon.
since we're
There is a
showcasing
stat
this
called
at legendary
magic
tier,
10
we
and
can
magic
move up the
damage.
tiers
So
and
Cool.
have
I'm
the stats
glad they
increase.
separated
awesome.
from
And so,
healing.
Obviously,
Or
there's going to be a
I don't know if I'm
number of
glad
different
or
types of
not.
selectables that you can incorporate as
Sometimes
part of the
like magic
crafting
in
process,
general is
each of them
all
having
stuffed
unique
into one.
results as part of the stat block for the weapon, but also increasing the quality predicated on the quality.
I have a
of
feeling
the
this game will come out for
selectable
in the
you're
next 2
using.
or 3 years.
Right, that would be our
They
sub-recipe
announced that
system that we're
the
kinda
Alpha
highly
1,
touch
which
up
is
on.
a
So,
persistent
a
alpha, will
common
for
copper
sure be
sword
coming
might
out in
have sub-recipes
2024.
that changes the
And
stat block
so it's at the
completely,
very
which would be
most
let's
next
say
year.
a brutal copper sword, which specializes in crit damage, but that would be
The
changing
actual
the
release
selectable
date might be 2 or
items
3 years.
from
Yeah,
oak
you're
timber
correct.
to ash timber, for
But
example, right?
it's a persistent
And then when
alpha,
it's on the
which
selectable
means
level,
it does
we
not
can
reset
choose
until its
the
actual
rarity
release.
of
It'll
those
run from Alpha
resources to
1
increase
all the
the
way
rarity of the
Alpha
item
2, or
produced.
Awesome.
from
And
Alpha
each time
1
you're kind
to
of
Beta
unlocking a different
2 to
result
Beta
with
1 to
regards
release,
that
and it
particular
will not
recipe,
reset.
you're learning that
And from what I hear,
interaction
Alpha
between the
2
selectable
or Alpha
materials
1,
and the
which is
output that
this
comes
upcoming
from it.
one, is supposed
So
to be
learning
feature
one
complete.
recipe actually learns
Or
you
is it
a
Alpha 2?
multitude of different
I forgot if it goes
potential,
1 2 or 2 1.
rewards from that one particular recipe.
Either way, I'm in it.
Yeah, we have
Or
something
craftable,
unique.
sorry, not reward.
Yeah, something unique in our crafting system where we want to have recipe XP of some sort, and then
That's
those
cool.
sub-recipes could be earned by leveling up your recipe, which means that you have to craft the Nightblade multiple times to level it up to have a better result. So the sub-recipe could be from a vendor recipe or world drops, like we said earlier. But the idea is one type of item can have potential to be multiple different outcomes.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, let me go ahead.
So we'll
and
probably have to
craft this
organize the
weapon.
Discord channel for the guild.
We've done
where-
it. We've received a Nightblade.
The loop is complete.
We'll probably
Oh
organize
my
the Discord
God, we
channel
made
where
it through
the
entire
actual
loop.
like if you
Let
get a
me
recipe,
I
I'm
know,
assuming there'll
let's
be a
see,
guild chat
let's
as
take a
well, but
look
there'll probably be a
at what
channel
we have
for
in our
amount of recipes that you have. If you're a guild
So I
artisan,
see
there
we
should
have
be a
heroic
channel for
Nightblade
everybody there
that's doing some
that says
physical
like
damage
I
and
can
magical
craft these specific
penetration with some
items,
magical
and then
damage
just
as
take a
well.
screenshot of it and post it
And
in
if I
there.
compare that currently to my longbow, obviously we have some comparable version there.
And then
Let me
people
go
can just
ahead
check it
and
at their
equip
leisure.
this. Oh, that looks good.
Oh, wow. That is so
looks
extra.
awesome.
You are styling. You put in the
Oh.
work, and now you're styling.
Oh, I love it. That looks super cool.
Sweet.
That's big.
Very nice. Let me see
You want to
here.
raise it up for the fam?
Yeah, I gotta get the right perspective here. Hold on. Stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, we have crafted world first on the Nightblade. We have done it.
This emotes. No way.
Very cool.
That did take an
So,
hour.
guys, we just walked through from start to finish crafting one particular recipe, of course, of many, as itemization is a very key component of
I'm
of
so
player progression
excited.
within the,
I love that.
within
I love
the
everything
era.
about this.
And as you can see, from gathering to processing to crafting, this is the type of experience and the unique aspects of that process that is within Ashes of Creation. We do these demonstrations so that you guys get an early look during development on the direction of this particular core loop, this core system to Ashes, and we want your feedback on it. What did you
Hold on,
think
I gotta
about
check
the
something really
gathering,
quick.
the processing, the stations, those
I
the times
remember
that it
there
takes,
was,
the queue system for it, the unique interactions with the recipes, the progression of the recipes, the tool dependencies, and the skill tree that you saw, the unique world state that influences the economy and the ability of players to accumulate these resources and move them across the world. We're fresh off of a caravan stream as well, where you kind of see how those materials, those resources, that wealth gets accrued and transited across the world.
Beef!
So
Hi.
all of
How
these
you
things
doing,
are things we
Beef?
want you to opine on in our YouTube,
Thank you for the
on the
27 months,
forums,
dude.
on
I
different social
appreciate it.
medias.
Thank you, thank you.
Talk to us about what you saw today and how you feel about it. Where do you think that it could be improved, and how it relates to your previous experiences in other MMOs that you've played and what you've enjoyed about them. But otherwise, Mike, Corey, Nathan, Alex, thank you guys for joining me. I know the audience obviously appreciates all the hard work that you guys put in, that everybody on the team puts in, and this is a very big group.
Honestly,
effort,
like,
to get
I
these types of
think
systems up and running.
as much as
I
I'd
know
love
I
to give my
appreciate it.
input
The
in the
audience does
game,
too.
I
Thank
have
you
a
for
lot
joining
of
us and
trust
chatting
in
with us a little bit
designers.
about
Like,
how all the stuff works.
hold on.
And
I'll
everyone,
talk
I
about
will
it
see you guys
after they're
back
done
on
with
stream
this.
in just
But
a moment.
See
happy
y'all.
27
Thanks,
months.
y'all.
Thank you so much, Beef. Hey, Lost Artifact, welcome in. So I have a lot of trust in designers planning out the optimal way to create like a really good user
We
experience.
hope that you all
And so
enjoyed
my
that. Lucy
input
did. She was
as a
watching with
player,
bated breath. For
I
every
don't
single
exactly
moment when
know
she
until
used
I
the
try it
map.
out myself.
Lucy,
And though
we're
I
gonna get out
see
there,
it, I know what I
craft.
like and what I
You
don't
wanna
like.
craft?
But unless
You
I've
want your own
firsthand
sword?
personally experienced
I think
the
she
whole
does.
routine myself, I
But
don't like
of
to
course,
pass
we
judgment
do
on
have
it.
some questions that we
Like,
noticed from chat.
I just
Our
don't see
wonderful
anything
community
wrong with
managers
the
have been pulling those in. But while we
there are
answer those,
concerns
we'll
that I
have a
have, but
video
there's
of
nothing
just
too
kind of
wrong with what I saw.
playing in the
Not the
background
emote,
so
yeah.
you can kind of
The
relive
fact that they have a
all
voice
the
too.
crafting goodness.
That
But,
means they can talk.
for the first couple
I
are
wonder who
for
voice acted that
iteration,
part
because we can
too.
answer these questions in the stream, but I think that it wasn't clear because people have been keep asking it post that. So the first one
Sure.
was how many people
Let me
can
turn them
use
up. They got
the
a lot
crafting
quieter.
stations at once, and is there a queue to use them?
Yeah, let me turn it up a little bit.
So as it stands now,
Yeah, they got a
crafting
lot quieter.
stations and processing stations that exist within nodes are unique to the
They
player.
sound like
So
drunk men in
meaning
the streets.
you can there is no limitation
Yeah.
on really how many people can use a crafting station within a node. That's different on a freehold. Freehold, it shares the queue. So if you have family members that are wanting to use the processing stations on your freehold, those queues are limited on a per job basis, right? Whereas in nodes, because they don't go to the highest tier possible of of processing, um, those get are personalized. So you saw when I was doing a number of different processing actions, I had my own little queue section up above where I could have 3 jobs running at sequentially.
That makes
Now,
sense. I'm okay with that.
upgrades in the node can change those things. So as the service building that's offering the processing or the crafting,
See, these sort of
it has
questions,
upgrades. There are
I think it's good to
policies that
have them
exist.
answered early on
There are certain
because it
relics
means
that you
that
can acquire, all of which
they've thought
change the
about this
dials a bit
before.
on
And
processing
that's
yield,
usually thanks to
processing time,
designers. Designers really have a
processing
good idea of like what people want
job
to see.
size.
Hey,
Like
Mason,
those things can get
and
adjusted, and that
I think
helps
that's really
players
good.
determine
That like I
where
trust
do I
their
want to go to do the things I need to
they've
do,
already
which
done
node should I
the
use.
like the
It
pass through.
is
Like
it
they've
is important
studied
to
what
understand
works in the past
how
and
that
what
node
doesn't.
has
They've already
specialized,
done the user
because you only
research.
have a
They've
limited
asked people
amount of
what they think is good
specializations
and
you
what they
can
think is
do
not good.
with the service building
It
plots, the
usually
policies
takes
enacted, and the upgrades
something
chosen.
more like the really good designers
Like
can
more
come up with
details in
stuff on their
regards to
own
the
that
design
works really
philosophy
well every
behind
single
why
times, but there
you
is a
it's a queue
study to it.
system
Design
for
isn't something
freeholds,
that
but
like
not for
you're born with or you're not.
nodes.
It's something you
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
study,
So
and it
on
has
the
like a lot
freehold,
of tries
processing
to it,
can achieve the
a lot
highest
of
levels of
iteration.
processing. That's where the highest levels of processing occur. Nodes can only go up to a certain level of processing. Now, we want to be able to throttle the amount of resources that can be processed at any given time in response to the fluctuation and flows of the economy, right? So we want to make sure that the economy is kind of a bigger ship when turning than being able to immediately start processing everything at once and get new resources out as the flow of supply and demand changes within the world. And because again, that's at the highest levels of processing, and you're sharing the available queues that exist at those stations, it's going to take time, and it's going to take a long time for the higher level materials.
Hmm.
Right. And then the next
Oh,
one here
I
is
keep kicking
more
my
of
stream
a
deck.
commentary in regards to there's been some mixed conversation in regards to this. And I think in the past we've also done a whole feedback thread and report on this topic specifically. But why did you go with a spatial inventory system for resources?
Sure. Yeah,
I
absolutely. Great
don't
question.
like
Um,
spatial inventory,
so
but
obviously, there's a
I'm
number of different methods that we can use
as long as the
in an
amount of space
effort
is a
to
lot,
mitigate
I'd be
or
okay with
again
that.
throttle the
Hi, cat.
amount of
There's
success
a
that
cat.
players can have in any one trip out in the world. Right now, we're using a combination of three things. We are using progression gating through your profession
Okay.
level,
I
right?
I
So you
understand that.
need
If
to
they
have a
want a
certain level
progression
to access
gate,
certain
then
resources.
I see why they would want to do that.
We are
They can gate
utilizing the
your
spatial
stuff a lot
inventory
easier than
space
that.
as a limitation on how much things you can gather before you need to go back to town. And then lastly, we have a tool predicate where you need to have a tool that is relevant for the resource you're gathering, and those tools have a decay value after each use. Weight is
I got
obviously an
grilled
approach that
cheese.
we could take if we wanted to limit. However, the spatial system works in concert with a number of other types of systems. For example,
It's
we
so
want
cheesy.
to have itemization drop on death, specifically as it relates to material items. And we want there to be an additional layer above just weight that introduces complexity. And where there is complexity, there is choice, and there is strategy, and there is planning required on behalf of the player in order to set themselves up for the best possible success in certain situations, right? And so situationally, it's unique which bag type you choose. This also gives us a unique progression realm within bags themselves, so that bags are catered towards a specific quote unquote weight class, and that is augmented by the spatial component, right? So as you introduce not just the weight aspect that you would normally see through stack size, but you also have the grid formation of the spatial aspect to again make it a relevant choice when you're leaving town,
I don't
which
think I've ever
bags
really
I'm
been
going to have
dissatisfied
equipped.
with
And we
any of his
want to
answers.
have a deep progression in bag choice as well, because it not only interfaces with the resource gathering, but also the PvP aspect of things, and players can cater themselves towards one of those directions. So, with a broader appeal that the game design provides through having these multiple progression loops that are somewhat disparate in interest, some being PvP, some being PvE, some being crafting oriented, this all provides a matrix of decision making on behalf of the player that I think yields a compelling gameplay loop. And so that's why we're going to do it. Now, it's important to note, once again, this is alpha, which means that these concepts that live, up here and get down into paper, then get down into implementation, there is still an iteration phase that exists after the implementation. And so when we get into alpha 2 and when we test these things, we are going to fine tune them, and sometimes they might be completely changed. That's just the nature of an iterative process. And so we need
He's
to
right.
understand right now, while you're seeing this in action, it's going to be different when players are hands-on. And we'll be collecting all that information, all those logs. We'll be querying how players interfaced with these different systems. And we'll also be, very importantly, the next step, collecting feedback directly from the players about these types of systems
I
and
think
whether
I'm
or not
getting
they hit
Zane
the
into this
mark
game
and
as
how they
well.
need to be fine-tuned in order to do so, or wholesalely replaced. So I would say, as players are participating in Alpha 2, get a feel
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
systems and provide the feedback, and we'll see how.
I
Did you
said
hear me?
I almost said it the
Yeah,
exact same time
you
as her.
froze for us for a
Oh.
moment. I was like,
My
oh
bad.
no.
My bad. So yeah, I don't know where I left off there, but that's
Basically, you were asking for feedback. Definitely share
yes,
feedback.
exactly.
We actually have a forum thread already up, so please do so. I'll remind you guys at the end as well. But yeah,
I'm literally the
there
type
were
of
some
person that's
kind of
okay with
tangential
anything as long
questions
as
in
it's well
regards to what
thought
you were
out.
just talking about,
Sure.
specifically because people were wondering
Weighted inventory, non-weighted
about
inventory.
bags and different types of bags, and can crafters
Like,
create those bags?
I understand
Yes.
why they did weighted inventory
Yeah,
plus
making it sound obvious.
like the
Yes,
the
yes,
space
absolutely. That is a
the
wholesale
space thing,
crafting
because it
area.
does make sense why they
So
did it
the next one
as
here is in
long as it's
regards to alt
properly done.
characters. How do we feel
And it
about
sounds
people?
like they
'Cause
thought it out.
we provided some details in regards to how many professions and processing classes and things of that sort that you can personally
I burped a
be
little bit.
on per character basis. What if I create alts that have those so that I can cover all of it? Is that something that we're okay with as a company, or how are we combating that?
I think so. I mean, look, this is, this is entirely a subjective viewpoint.
Hey,
of
Lovelace,
course,
welcome in.
but in my opinion, if the effort
Sorry, I had to
necessary to
sneeze.
progress a character to the point where you have access to those types of things,
Thank you for the care
is
package.
parallel with the effort it takes for your main
Here's a
character
heart.
to do
Mwah.
those things,
And your ear wriggles.
then that's a choice that you're making, and you're splitting your game time efforts
How are you doing
towards
today,
two
Lovelace?
different characters.
Happy
and
Thursday.
presumably
Almost to
so,
the
that's
end of
a
the
bit
week.
of an asymmetric balance point that gets provided. I think that's fine. And I think that, when we design the game, we design with that in mind as well. And that's why we have certain restrictions on the number of Grandmaster professions that a
Oberon?
particular character can do.
What the heck?
When we want to
Thank you for gifting
extend
another
those
5 gifted
restrictions out
subs.
from
I
a
really
character
appreciate
basis
it.
to an
Thank you
account
so
basis,
much.
we do so, and we do so particularly with
I know
housing.
Oberon's playing this game with
That's
me.
an
I can't wait to
additional
play with
level
people.
of limitation that's
Thank
going
you,
to mitigate some of the
Oberon.
alt atmosphere for, let's say, owning a freehold, right? That is something that we place as a restriction.
Have a good lurk,
because we
Lovelace.
feel that the limited
Wait, Lovelace, are you gonna play this game with me?
exists within the world is something we don't want
Thank
to
you so
extend to
much.
the alt
A gift sub for
atmosphere.
Ouya.
So in
That's
that
my mod.
situation, a player might have to, get another account or something, or
Thank you
do
so
some
much.
obfuscation there. But
I really, really appreciate
from the
it.
perspective
Mwah,
of
big kiss.
progressing within the crafting professions and within the processing and gathering professions, that's acceptable in my opinion.
Okay. And then the next one here is, will gathering and its noises increase the range the monsters will notice you? So if you aren't being so stealthy and you're harvesting things and chopping down wood, are creatures going to
This is not as
perceive
big a
that?
deal.
Sure.
A lot of these small questions,
there
I'm
has been some discussion about that
glad
in the past.
that they thought
We
about
have
it,
not yet
but to
gotten
me, it is
to
no big
the
deal.
types of unique perception behaviors that we want NPCs to have. Right now, they're
Like,
relatively
these are
rudimentary
questions
in
where
their
if I
perception,
played
although
a
it is
lot of
what
these
players
questions
come
that
to
people are
expect
asking are
in the
like,
majority of
if you give me
MMOs they've
10
already
seconds in
played.
game, I can figure it
But
out on my own. So it's not a
we're aiming
question that
bit
I have to
higher,
ask here.
and we haven't gotten to that work yet. But we are talking about things like unique abilities, excuse me, played by characters that extend their
Like, this is a
perception ranges.
question, I could just test it out, or it'll just
Sounds
happen
and
when it
different
happens,
types of
or I'll
walking
notice it.
that are
It's something I
angular
won't
from
even
the
need to notice until I actually notice it.
from the mob's perception perspective to be unique. Different types of creatures that might be of three-dimensional in space, whether it
See if I
is
can
in
make this
water
bigger
or
for
birds
now.
in the sky that have a downward cone angle type perception as well. Like those, those are things we want to do, but we haven't yet spent the time on the AI behaviors there.
And then the next one here is in regards to artisan gear, and will it be a viable thing for me to utilize in combat? So if I'm crafting and someone asks me to help them with something, can I just leave my artisan gear on and go out and fight, or will I need to be swapping my armor?
So you will
That's a
not
good
need to
question.
swap your armor. Artisanship gear lives in alongside your adventuring gear.
Okay.
And there will be a toggle that you can use to display one or the other.
See, these are questions, I'll figure it
Now that
out, but it's good to know
doesn't mean
ahead
you
of
need to
time
swap
so I
gears.
don't have this, like,
It
lingering
means that
thought in my head.
if you want to be seen as wearing
I'm
the
not the type of guy who does theory crafting for
herbalist's
long
outfit,
hours of the day
you
when
can.
you
You're
can
still
just
gonna
ask a
have your
question
adventuring
or
gear
like figure it
present
out in
on
10
the
seconds in
character,
game.
and
Like,
benefiting from the
as
stats that are
you
conferred
could
by it,
speculate for like 3 hours and
vice
come up with
versa
a bunch
for
of different theory paths
the
for how it would work if
for
your
gathering
artisanship
or
gear
artisanship
was
gears.
not matched
Okay.
alongside
Then the next one
your
here
actual
is
armor,
in
but that time would
regards
be all
to
wasted
upgrading
if you just
items.
take 3
So
seconds to figure it out
if
in
I
game.
create an item at a low quality, will I later be able
I
to
don't like to
upgrade
waste
that
the time.
item when I have the resources
Yeah.
to do so?
Yeah, we want to be careful, so right now, as you saw in the stream, the contribution of materials to crafting an item results in advancing the rarity of that item. Now, that doesn't exclude players who don't have the legendary or the higher quality contributed resources from progressing their common item up the rarity tree through enchantments such as scroll enchanting or through tempering
Oh,
the
there's
gear.
enchanting in this game too.
Both of those can affect the quality
There's
and the
probably going to be
rarity
like
of the
processing for
gear that you
herbs
produce.
that you could use to make
But by
ink that you have to
contributing
do to make a
the
scroll that you also
resources
apply to the
during the
weapon.
crafting
There's
process, you are getting a head start
a whole
with the
thing
higher
there. There's
quality
so many
item,
trees
and
that could be
now are
involved
less
here.
dependent on those other avenues to achieve that, which might be
And I'm
again,
kind of glad
different
that they
vertical
involved the
space of
processing
progression
because now it
that
makes more
you don't
sense
have
why
as
there's a
good of
processing
access to,
step
right?
rather
So it's
than
kind of
having the
distributing
or
the
having a whole
approach.
processor rather than just having like one person
Okay.
who's doing the thing.
And then this is probably one I noticed a lot from more of our long-term fans who have been with us and on this journey for a really long time. They are curious about what happened to the more manual crafting side of crafting because we didn't
That is,
showcase
yeah.
that here. We showed
Who is
mostly
that?
fast crafting.
Who's a long time?
A lot of people.
A lot
A
of
lot of
A
people.
people.
lot of people.
A
I thought
lot
you
of
said there's
people
one
ask.
person. I thought I heard you say like we
No.
have a long time person who's been asking. I was like, oh my god, who's that?
No.
Okay.
It's me.
I meant
It was me,
generally.
you
I
guys.
noticed this question from
Got
people
it.
who
What
are
was the
Yes.
question?
our fans for a long time, not
For sure, for
new
sure.
people.
So that is still a work in progress. And you know, we want to be
I'd be
careful
here all
when
day
we
if I listed all the
showcase.
names.
Yeah, no, fair. We want to be careful that when we list, excuse me, when we showcase certain systems, that we're doing so in a way that's digestible, obviously, and allows for people to provide feedback. But not all systems come online as fast as we want them to. That particular gameplay layer is still a work in progress.
What gameplay layer are you
And
talking
you will
about?
likely be getting an update on it at some point in the future when we're ready to showcase it, but it is still intended. The question that's outstanding with that mini game layer, or I don't really like calling it a mini game
Yeah,
layer,
that's why I
but
was calling it manual crafting.
I know,
Because it
I
gets
know.
really
Oh,
confusing
okay,
when you say
manual
mini games
crafting.
because it is not mini games.
Agreed. It's not. It is a unique gameplay layer. However, what I would say is that there's still some discussion about whether or not that occurs on a craft by craft basis or if it occurs at the certification level, right? So
Mm,
when you're certifying up, you participate in the that gameplay layer. But what I would say
okay.
is,
That's not a big deal
hold
to me.
off on that for a moment. We're still working on that. We will give an update when we're ready.
This is a very,
Also,
very minor
putting things
detail. I feel
into
like
a
if you
more
have it,
functional
great. If you
state
don't,
allows us to
whatever.
test some of those core systems and features so that we can kick out all the bugs that are potentially there. And believe me, we've fixed a lot of them already. So, and there's plenty more that will come along the way as we move towards that more manual crafting process. And then the next one here
I don't
is,
really care for manual
will the
crafting.
skin of the weapons have slight changes depending on the rarity that it's crafted at?
Yes, yeah, you saw
Uh,
there that the rarity of
one
that
interesting
sword
question.
was heroic, and when it was equipped, you saw some effects that were kind of pulsating up the weapon. Um, those types of effects will be yielded the higher quality and or rarity that the weapon is. So it's something that also is visually conveyed to other players, if not from just a threat assessment perspective, but from getting some data point on the
The thing
equipment
is,
that
like,
that
with this
another player has.
MMO,
So
I
yes,
really
there
want to
are
get
some
more
effects that
people
get scaled
into
up when
playing
that
this
happens.
game,
All right, we got
but
two more, and then
there's
we'll move
so
on to the
much
next segment. Otherwise, we'll
information.
be here all day.
Uh,
Because Bagnar Roshi
we'll have this
Gagna,
chat
which
in a
is
bit.
awesome. The
Let's
next one
just
here
hear these
is:
questions out,
can a
though.
player of any
Let's
profession
see how
level
those
learn
go.
any recipe, or do I have to be like a certain level to learn the recipes?
This is kind of a good question.
Oh, that's a good question.
Mhm.
I know we've gone back and forth on that in the past. I believe that currently you might need to have the appropriate ability to craft the recipe in order to learn it. I believe that's the current approach, but I could be wrong on that. I'll
That's
have to double
fine.
check.
Whether it,
And
I
like
think
Steven
that,
said before, everything's subject to change as we test things, as you guys
yeah.
experience things, as you provide your feedback.
A
We
lot of
adjust
these
things as
questions are
well.
like
And
actually
then the
pretty
last one
decent
here
questions.
is: can a player equip multiple of the same types of bags, or are bags unique to
Yes.
characters in some way?
No, you can equip multiple of the same types of bags.
Oh, okay. So it's
Highly
like World of
specialized.
Warcraft where you got like 5
Cool.
bag slots.
And I think
Okay,
there was a
that's neat.
tangential one here. Was can people put these
You got a
crafted
herbalism
bags on
bag, you
their
got a
mules as
logging
well?
bag, and a mineral bag.
Can they put craft? I'm sorry, my battery just said it's about to die. Sorry, say again.
The
Say it one time.
crafted, can they put the crafted bags on their mules as well? Like the satchels on their bags?
No, no. The mules use the cargo system. So the cargo system is crate based. you have to acquire the crates, and then you can equip them to the vehicles and/or mules. Mules cap out at the small crate value, and you can add to that crate while in the wild.
Okay,
Alright.
that's pretty
Well,
good.
from there, we're going to move on to our studio update. I don't know if you want to share some deets on how we're doing, where we're at in regards
These
to
are usually
studio
pretty quick.
goodness, but
Usually the
I know
studio
folks
update's
keep
pretty
asking you
quick. The
about
art
all that
update
jazz.
can
Yeah, no, absolutely.
take a
Things are
bit,
going
and then the
great at
Q&A. I
studio.
feel like they
have
did a
gotten
Q&A already, but
some
I'm down to
really
hear some of the
talented
questions and answers.
team members who have joined us over the course of this last month that we're very excited about to have with the team.
Oops.
We are in the process of winding down for the year, obviously. The studio goes on break from the 22nd until January 3rd, and we have a lot of plans to get things done
January
before
2nd,
the
I
22nd.
think.
Oh, until the
We
2nd?
come
Sorry,
back the
my bad.
2nd, yeah.
Got it. Whoops, the studio's like, oh, we're getting an extra day. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
it's like, I
kidding.
just want to, because I know a lot of them watch the stream. I don't want them to be like, oh.
I know. Yeah, 22nd to the
I should
2nd.
stream
Good
this
call.
game more often.
But we have a lot of plans, obviously, to get some things done here before the end of the year. We will be finishing up our milestone 7, which is a big, big, big milestone for us, obviously. But yeah, a lot of things going great at the studio right now.
Yeah, we're trying to plan some little fun things that we can do as a team too for December. We always try to
Yeah.
do. I think we always do like a Christmas sweater contest, and we have fun.
Yes.
We try to
I think we're gonna do I
how's
think
that
we're
word?
gonna do a movie as well. We've got some
Yeah,
gifts going out to the team.
I'm working out the event details on that. So yeah,
Nice.
we're gonna prep some stuff. I know people who are our staff are probably like, ooh, but we'll announce that later internally. But yeah, we're definitely rocking and rolling. I think we talked about this in a previous live stream, but our attrition rate is insanely great. You know, people do come and go here and there, but it's crazy because like
It is
industry
kind of
standards
crazy.
like 12
I know.
plus percent, and well, right now with
We're
layoffs,
at like
it's insane.
1% or 2%.
Yeah, we're like 2%, I think. But yeah,
Yes.
so it's very, very low. Beyond that, let's move on to character goodness. So the first thing here that
Oh,
you're going to see
hey.
is that
Eh,
we are starting to kind of change up our Kalar starting gear.
I like
We're
that.
kind of
Although the
fixing
faces still
those,
seem
changing
really
them. You're going to
stiff.
see this for all of the races
I
as
get that
well.
this is just like the base model. I
But
really love to
feel free to
see
share your feedback and thoughts on them
more
as we
Love it.
continue. Yeah, the fabric
more
looks
of
so
this,
good.
but
Yeah.
different.
Let those go through.
It's really shiny. The
Materials
lighting
are
is kind of
so
interesting.
good. Of course, lighting
Got
changes
the-
everything. So it depends on like where
Yeah.
you are in game, how the lighting's
Lighting's
gonna look
interesting.
on the armors and stuff like that. The next thing here is a copper weapon set. You're probably going to see these for every type of material. So I think you've seen some of them from previous materials too in the past. But
I want
you'll
this.
probably be seeing more of those.
They,
as we
so
move
they do
forward.
have an
There's
orb
a lot
weapon,
of weapons and stuff are being
or
weapons and armors are being made.
I think they're called like
Tons of them.
catalysts
Very rich,
in games.
diverse grouping
There's a
of
staff and then the
weaponization that
book.
can be
Those are
progressed
your
through
typical spellcaster
crazy,
weapons,
questing, drops,
and I love that. A
crafting.
grimoire, yeah.
Speaking of which, we
I
have some Karfin weapons. We have a dagger and a focus.
I think a
that
lot
are
of the
being worked
times
on
for
right
me,
now.
I
think we've
since I
shown
am a
some of the other
spellcaster
Karfin
type,
weapons in the past as
I,
well that
I
you've
don't
seen.
know if
But
I don't
let's
really
see
have a
one
catalyst that I
here.
use,
Um,
so I don't really
obviously
need a
that's gonna be
staff
a
or
fun
an
dungeon.
orb or a book.
And then we have the Scarlet Remembrance.
I saw a
item
ball.
that we
Yeah,
have.
it was
The lore for this is
an
really
orb,
sweet.
Cool.
a magic
So
ball.
if you haven't read it,
Some
I
people
highly
use it to
recommend.
channel things, but
Um,
I don't know if I have
and then we
necessarily a
have
right
the
weapon for me.
Guards.
That weapon that he
This
saw,
was
that
a
we saw
contention. Some
with,
people
it was
followed
a
the base
sword,
set
but it
and some
had
people
all
didn't.
magic damage on it.
But now you're seeing the 3D
A
render
spell
of
person
it,
too,
which
or an
is-
archer.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's different.
Yeah, they had bows
too,
and stuff.
which I think is fun.
They have really interesting gear. Like,
And then
who
we
came
have
up with this
Boom
idea?
Fest, which
Although I
is
don't
from that
dislike
same
it.
set.
Ah, this is cute. This is their what December set, or
Oh, I love
before
it.
that.
Beautiful.
It's very Prince
And
Charming-ish.
Who
then we
did this
go-
one?
This one.
I never
Boom
bought a
Fest
set. I have the original Kickstarter one,
our
so
wonderful intern, Marlene.
Oh
They
my
have interns.
god. Marlene.
Get a shout out, Marlene.
Very cool.
And then we have the mature drill spider.
I
This
would
is
not
in a
want to ride
T-pose,
that.
So the little spiky thing is, would be up, not flat like that.
What is that?
Um,
No, thank you.
And then we
Merlin?
have the Rainwalk
Merlin?
Fawn.
It's giving Disney
Look at
Princess
it.
a little bit. The creatures are so pretty. They're so well done in
Love
this
it.
game, and I'm really,
So
really
cool.
glad they have so many character artists working
Very
on their
cool.
stuff. When this comes out in
It seems
2030,
making
I'll
a
check
lot
it
of
out.
different
No,
versions of
no.
this
They
in
gave a
preparing for
definite
its
date
release in the
there.
game.
It's
Oh, yeah.
2024.
Little
It's going to
corrupt
go into
version of it.
Alpha 2.
Yeah. Oh no.
Turns red.
I know a lot of
This
people are
one
joking
is one
about
of
it,
my
but they
favorites. This is
gave
the
a
Shoal
firm
Skipper.
date for a
We were
persistent
joking
alpha,
that this is what
which
we
means
all look
I'll
like
be able
after
to
this game
stream the
beta.
game with no
I
NDA
can't
on
wait
it
to
at that
ride
time.
that thing in
And
the
so I'm
ocean and
guessing
just
it's
like
at
lay
the
down a bunch
end
of mines for
or
ships and
towards the
stuff. That would
middle
be
of
great.
Oh my
2024.
gosh.
And they gave us the guarantee.
I
They said
love
they
that.
wouldn't tell
Maybe
us if
plotting his
unless they knew
revenge.
for
Just
certain.
have like
So it's
just
2024
have
for
like
sure.
a squad
Although I don't
of
know what
these
quarter it's in.
Oh, that'd be
They
so
said they're
fun to
doing
see
a
a squad
test
of
in
them. Oh my
December. They
gosh,
said it
in
this
Alpha
live
1,
stream
we
that they're
all
doing
went in the
a
water.
live
We were all on
test.
those turtles, you remember? And
It's
then we would do
Earth.
the
It's
barrel
literally
roll
Earth.
all in a row like a
They're
wave.
doing a live test this
Yes,
Remember
December,
that?
and I'll
yeah,
get in
That was
on
so
that
fun. I think
to
it
try
was
and
with
help
the
them
PI
out.
folks when we
And
did that. I don't know if the PI folks remember.
for that, we'll
I think it was
have
a lot of fun.
enough. They'll probably use the
That's what happens in
data
private
from the
testing. You
December
do weird
testing
things, 'cause we were having
to
everybody line
determine
up and they were
what
like,
day they're
"Run to
going
the
to do
shore,"
it
'cause we were
next
trying
year.
to test
And so
having a lot of people
whether
on
that
there.
be
I remember
early
that. That was
November
good
or
times.
like
Yeah.
whether that be Q2 or
And
Q3 or
with that,
Q1
we are
even if
heading
it's
on
going
to our
perfectly maybe.
Q&A. So
I
thank you to
doubt
our
it'd be
amazing
Q1,
artists.
but
Obviously, they work
probably
on way
Q2.
more things than that.
Otherwise, they
But we
wouldn't
just
have.
try to show
If it was
people a little
Q3 or
bit here and
Q4,
there that
I
they're
doubt they
really
would
proud
have
of,
said
that wanna share.
2024. They might have said
Sometimes
2025.
I
But
ask them for
because
additional things that they're not quite ready to share.
because they shared the date, it
People
means
like it.
it's give or take like I
And
would
of
say
course,
give
we
or
keep some
take 3
stuff
to
for you
6
guys
months.
so that you
I'm
can
guessing
experience
it's
them.
at least Q2,
So to
Q3.
move on to our Q&A, if you don't know, we grabbed some questions from our forums. We always put these up in advance when we announce our live stream. So if you
I
are
highly
following us
doubt it's
on all the
Q4.
social,
They're
you'll be notified
probably
of that.
like
And of course,
gathering
on
the data
forums.
from this
The
December
first question
test
here is from
and
Nice
then going to
Gaming.
say
Thank
something
you guys
like
for also making amazing content. We always
tentative
love,
Q2 or
seeing
something like that.
They wanted about new
Nice.
player experience, and is there a plan to have a tutorial or quest detailing corruption, the
Or like
flagging
not
system,
they probably won't say like tentative
etc.
Q2.
as
They'll
new
probably
players
like
enter Vale?
constantly test up to the day and then give like a final day,
That is not something, however,
maybe
you'll
a,
be
a month or
noticing
two
in Alpha
before.
2. We call this obviously our first
And like I
time
said, I'll be
user
busy for a week
experience.
in May.
The first time user experience is something that's going to have a lot of love and attention during betas, but is not going to have much attention during Alpha 2. But it is intended for us to have a very in-depth first time user experience to kind of introduce players to the number of different
I am a little
systems,
worried
right?
because they said it
They're
would be
not gonna
feature
be super
complete,
in-depth. We don't
and I
believe the
haven't
first time
seen
user
anything on
experience is just to
shipbuilding so
handhold
far.
players through all of the processes
That guy's neck
and
is so
reveal the
weird.
world, so to
And
speak,
although they
but
mentioned
just to
stuff
give
stuff
them
about
a
caravan building,
shallow
I
touch for
imagine
these
it would
systems
be
so that they
similar
understand
to the
concepts,
caravan system,
and
the
essentially
shipbuilding
how
process.
to navigate. But
Whether
Sometimes it can
shipbuilding
be
will be done, I
overwhelming to have
don't
like a bunch
know.
of
They
UI
could just
pop-ups.
say
I
like,
think also we've been trying to
let's
take a more
exclude that for now, and
tangible
then
process
they'll
of
like
you
patch it
you're
in
learning
into the
through
alpha,
the
or
game
when the
and
beta comes
not
out, they'll
always
probably
through
do open
Windows.
sea
I find, I
travel.
bet you do.
Because the Alpha 2 is limited to
The
only
next question
3
is from
zones on the
Nara,
entire
who
continent.
wants to
And the
know about
map
stolen
is
glint. This
huge.
was a contentious question
Want to be a
after you
pirate,
talked about
Hikaru?
this on the
I'm not a
Caravan live
pirate.
stream. So I think this is a great
I'm
point to
actually
also
very
clarify. So I'm glad
anti-pirate.
it got back to the random generator.
Like I said, I'm
The
a very
question is,
big
will a
empire.
character be able
I'm
to
a very,
loot
very
their
big
own
empire
corpse and
builder.
retrieve their
And
dropped glint
pirates
as
are
normal glint again, or is it forever
pirates
stolen
are like
glint the
what
second
should I
that the
say?
character dies? Does this also
Uh,
mean
how,
that
how do
if
I
my
how do I
friend
say
loot
it
my
in a
body
like a
and
positive
gives me
way?
my glint back, it's considered stolen? I think the problem here
Um,
was that
Fine
you
privateer.
die and then your glint becomes
I would
stolen
be down
glint,
for that.
but
An
then if you
admiral.
loot
yeah,
it,
no,
it's
the
weird for
glint
it to be stolen.
the
Pirates
glint
are
does
a
not become
nuisance.
stolen on death. It becomes stolen on looting. And
If as
if
long
you
as
Like
are
it's
it's
not
able,
you,
this
right?
is it
correct,
sounds
yeah,
really like
if you're able to loot your
this
own
might sound
body,
cheesy or dumb,
it will
but
not be
like
converted into stolen
things
glint.
like if you know
However, a native
basic
player,
economics, like
regardless of their
it's guns and
affiliation,
butter theory,
loots the
right?
body, it will then be
Things you
converted. The glint will
cooperate
be
if you
sunk in the stolen
cooperate with
glint.
someone rather than
Your
fight
friends
with
can
them
steal
on it,
stuff from you. It is true.
it always tends to lead to net benefits for both.
And
Like
of course,
I
The
want
next one
something
is
from
from
you, you
Lashing,
want
and they
something
want to know
from
about
me, we can
NPC
trade for it.
levels.
It doesn't have
Will
to be we kill
mob
each other. Because then we
level
then spend
keep
a lot more
scaling
resources
past
just
the
killing
player
each other for
max
it.
level as an indicator for power level? I think this is more in
And
regards to
when there's more than
at
like two
high
parties
level, will there
involved, it
still be
gets so
challenging
complicated.
combat for me beyond?
Although as a PvP guild, it
Wait, so
is
what's the question?
necessary to fight for things.
Will mob
'Cause
level keep
when you-
scaling past the max
I
player
know this
level?
becomes.
Yes.
Oh wait.
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
When the
that's a
game,
good answer.
both in Alpha 2 and when the game launches, there will be monsters whose technical level is above that of the cap. And the intent there is obviously, again, to provide some level of challenge
Okay, that makes sense.
exceeds
The mosquitoes
a
of the ocean.
comparable level
I hate
challenge
mosquitoes.
Yes, that is
If
expected.
the ships are like caravans, they're going to be pirates.
And then
There will
Neil
be
Paxson
pirates.
wants to know about crafting agency. What percentage of an item's specifically like a weapon that hits corrupted targets harder will be defined specifically by
Remember, my
blueprint,
alignment's
material,
lawful
character,
neutral.
skill,
Pirates
station, or
are
region where it was crafted, and by the player's own selective
probably
inputs.
neutral
So I think this is
evil,
a pretty meaty question, but just
or probably
I guess kind of
chaotic
breaking
evil.
it up.
No, they're chaotic
Where
evil
do
for
the
sure.
power elements come from percentage-wise per the different elements of crafting?
Well, a big chunk of it's going to come from the static recipe value, right? That's going to drive a lot of the stat block. And then, as we saw here, you will be able to influence the quality of the recipe.
Privateers are
and
just
the
sanctioned
distribution
pirates.
of stats within the stat block
I think
based
privateers
on
there's
the
a
components
nuance to it.
that are dedicated.
Although I
to
probably
them.
have to look this up.
So
That's why
that
I
presents
resaid
a wide
admiral
variety of
probably.
potential output from a single
I had to correct myself. Like
recipes
an
have
admiral is
the
someone who.
ability
Oh,
to
whoa!
gain
Polaris, thank you for the
themselves
raid.
and gain experience. You
Welcome
can
in,
unlock,
gamers. Polaris, are you willing to play this game with me?
different
Let me
results
sell you
through
on
different
Ashes of Creation.
compositional contributions
And
of
welcome in everyone
resources,
from Polaris's
and
chat.
that in and of
Hello,
itself is
hello.
kind of
Nice
an
to meet ya.
exploration
I'm Mikabu. I'm a
progression
Wolfboy
that
VTuber.
crafters will
I'm
have
streaming a
access
game
to.
called the game isn't out yet. It's coming out in 2024. It's an MMO
And
called
the next
Ashes of
one is
Creation,
about
and
crafting
I would love to
animation
get you
of
into
whole
this game,
cats.
Polaris.
And they want to know, will players have the ability to innovate
Hi, everyone from
within the
chat.
crafting system, creating unique items or designs? If so, how much customization can players expect when it comes to crafting their own gear or items?
Yeah, I think
A
this
lot.
is
This is
pretty
basic
much
question.
the same kind of answer that I just gave.
Yeah.
Which is that obviously there are statically defined.
Everything he's saying is kind of like within the
there are
realm of my
statically
expectations
defined
of
an
him,
array
which is
of
great.
results that can
You
come out
don't
of a
want
particular
anything
recipe.
unexpected, like, oh, we
And
can't do
your
that, or
ability
like,
to unlock those
oh, that's
results is
impossible. It's
predicated
kind of
on
like
what
his answers are
compositional
always like
resources you
either
contribute
what
to
you would
crafting
expect
that
him to
particular
give, a
weapon.
yes, or like,
And
you know,
so in
maybe
that
we'll get to it
sense,
later.
yes,
He never crosses anything out,
crafters
and I
will
don't
have
hate
the
that,
ability to
but it's very. Where are the guild
uniquely
administrator rules?
create certain
There's usually a
types of the
PvP
recipe's
officer,
results based on how they're contributing
an inventory
resources to it.
manager,
Yeah, I think this question
and
refers
an
to
event
specifically
coordinator.
about creating,
So
manifesting their
if we're doing a
skills.
caravan run, there's usually a pack
exactly.
leader.
That
So
the
maybe I would take
result
that
has
role
to have
out.
a
There would be a
corresponding
back-end
recipe
leader, someone who
definition.
like makes
And
sure
so in
everyone
that
from the
sense,
backside
it
is
isn't
taking care of
completely
everything.
customizable to the point where the player gets to
Like someone who
really
takes up the
create
back end to
these,
make sure nothing's coming
particular
up,
items,
and then
but
communicates with
rather they are
the track leader.
discovering what
And then there's going to be a
creations are
PvP
possible
officer
with
that
each
takes care of the
recipe.
PvP.
Okay. And then
So there's a lot of
sorry
different
if I'm
roles that
saying
like
your name
officers
wrong,
can
just
fulfill.
DM me on
There
Discord or
is like
something,
conflict
or
management
forums and let me know
officers,
how to
there's
actually
diplomacy
pronounce it.
managers. So we need an officer that manages
Molu-
relationships with other guilds.
Moluxtos.
We need an officer that manages
They want to know
the
about
internal
crafting
conflicts of the guild
recipes.
to
Will the
enforce
recipe book
the
be
laws. We need a
account-bound or
recruitment
player's
officer
character
that can
bound?
recruit other
Will there
people.
be account
There's usually a
one shared
lot of different
recipes? So
administrative
can I
roles that
share
need
my
to be
recipes with
fulfilled.
my other characters, or do I have to do them per
As the
character?
guild leader, I have to take care of
This
all of
brings
it.
us back
I'm kind of like
to
Yeah, the
alt
the Bill
question.
stops with me kind of guy.
And the alt question was,
Or I forgot what the
and how do we
saying
feel
is.
about making alts in order to kind of corner
I'm invested in
the,
the diplomacy roles. Yeah.
the mastery
So
professions.
I do have a
If you
philosophy
learn
of
a
how it goes
recipe,
in
it
running
stays on
guilds
that
that like
character.
cooperation
And
is
if you
better
want
than
another
conflict.
character to have access
But
to
I'm
those recipes,
also
they have to
understanding
achieve
that
those recipes
it's
in
not
order to
always
do so.
going to be how it goes in
And so
game
in that
or
sense,
like
we're
in
not
theory,
making it easier
and
for
that
alts, right?
conflict is kind
It
of
is an
necessary.
equitable amount of effort required in order to achieve
I forgot the
the
Ramus
type
Polaris.
of
Hey
layout you
Andra,
want from these alt
Andrika,
characters.
Andreka, nice to meet ya.
And
Hi,
then
I'm
Roni's
Hikaru. I'm a
Pony,
Wolfboy
always
VTuber.
listening.
I'm streaming
They
some
wanna know about
Ashes, and if you're
gathering
interested in
skills.
playing
Do
with me, I'd
gatherers
love to
need
have you.
spec into group-based gathering at the
This
expense
is
of
my
solo
unofficial
gathering?
recruitment post for people who are here.
Do they need to?
We're gonna have to
No.
repost it
No,
as
I do
well.
not believe so.
So they can spec into, they can do both equally.
Like for diplomacy rules, usually the rule
And
for
then Tiger
me
Blue Eyes
that
wants
I'd
to
be
know about
comfortable
crafting
with
materials.
is red
Are
is
crafting
dead.
materials
Red
going
is dead is a
across
very, very
tiers?
common
For
rule.
example, using
It's the
high-level
very like
material
hard
on
enforced
low-level
rule.
recipes
But then
or
like,
low-level
you know, you have
materials
to
in a higher-level
guilds we
recipe.
never
Is that
talk to, guilds that are
Yes.
neutral,
And
or
then
guilds that are
Phantom
friendly.
MX or
They all
Phantom
need someone to
X
manage like
wants to know about
Andrika, thank you for the
crafting
follow.
skill.
I appreciate
As
it.
character
They all
artisan
need someone to
skills
manage that
improve,
and
will
deal
RNG
with
in the process go down?
deal with it according to like how I would
That
deal
is
with
a
it.
good question.
And
As I level up, am I more likely to succeed?
To a degree. Well,
like I've had situations before where we
right now
recruited
we
some
don't
members
really
that weren't willing to
have
follow the
a
guild rules.
failure
So
chance
our
when it
members,
comes
one of
to
my members
crafting.
attacked another guild that we were on friendly terms
The
with
RNG
to take their
chances
stuff.
that we
So we
place
needed an
on
officer like, hey, you can't do
itemization
that.
live
Maybe
more
we'll talk
within
it out with the other
enchant
guild, give
realm
them their stuff
and
back,
within
and then have them
the
be on the way. Everything is resolved.
deconstruction
You know, worst case
realm,
scenario, we kick that member for the guild if he breaks too many rules. But that's what
socketing,
officers are for.
That's where
Because as the
RNG
guild
comes
leader,
into
I
play.
also
The
have duties that I
recipe
needed
is
to fill.
relatively
Like being the
um,
forefront of
high
guild
degree
management and
of
diplomacy, you also
certainty
need to
when
make sure
inputting
that your
things.
level is up to par,
You may
be
not know what
participating
the
in
outcome of
activities
that
all the
input's going
time,
to look like, but I
like
wouldn't
managing
call
the
it
raids and
necessarily
stuff.
RNG,
There needs to be an event
RNG for
coordinator.
failure,
Like
because you can't necessarily fail.
we have an officer, his
Um,
name is Dino Rage, and he's a
so,
great mod of
yeah,
mine.
I hope
He's going to
that
be
answers your
managing
question.
like
And
what
then
kind of
Drunk Ninja
crafters do we
wants to know about
need,
crafting
who's specializing
consumables.
in
Will
what,
every crafting profession
and
be able
then
to
he's
make
going to put
some
out a
form of
spreadsheet
consumable?
that determines what do we have in the guild and what do we
Not
still
every
need.
crafting
Like there needs to be an
profession will
officer
be able
that
to make
determines
a
what we
form
need
of
for that as well.
consumable.
Thank you for the lurk, Polaris.
All right. That wraps up our Q&A.
I didn't
Woo,
hear any of the
made it
Q&A
through it all.
questions. I heard some of them earlier on,
And of
but I'm
course,
glad I sticked
we
around
do
for that.
have, some reminders again for you all. Just head on over to our forums. We would love your feedback. Forums.ashesofcreation.com. We have a forum feedback thread.
Thank you for the
already
lurk,
up there
Polaris. Have a good lurk.
So definitely let us
I'll
know
probably
your
stream for a
thoughts,
little
what
bit
you
longer
think
while we have
you
some
liked
like
from it,
post.
what you'd like to see
This is a
improved.
long stream.
It was a long
It
stream.
was a
This
long
is
stream.
long
It's been
stream.
about 2 hours.
The video for the 4K version of the artisanship segment will be up on YouTube right when this is over, so you can go watch that, pause it, look back.
When are we going to make
so
the
you can
channel
really give us
public?
feedback
And
on what your thoughts
Sugoi,
are.
we'll probably make
And
it
of course,
public
our
when
team
the
is going to be
Alpha 2 is
creating a report for
announced.
the dev team, which is always
We'll
something
probably
that
like once
is
we have a
beneficial for us.
solid
Again,
timeline,
thank you all so much for
which
helping
I
us with
think
Extra Life. There's also
2024
a
we
ton
can
of
start
other dev
opening up
positions and things of
recruitment
that sort that are over
when
there.
the
We're gonna have a
testing
delicious one
for the
that's coming up,
NDA starts,
with
which is in
recipes, and maybe we'll do,
supposedly
some bonus,
December.
Alpha
So
2 keys for anybody
probably
who actually
December
creates the
is when we're going to
recipe and
open it
sends us
up,
a photo
or
or
when I
something.
read
So
that
it's like a
post and
bonus, just
find it.
fun.
I will open
But
up
yeah,
and look for a
definitely
recruitment
keep your eye out for
officer.
some fun things that
If
are
no
coming
one
along
takes
the
up that
way.
role, then
The
I will
NC
be the
Order
recruitment
Cosmetics will be
officer.
ending on January 17th at 11 a.m. Pacific.
I would
Reminder
love
that
one
this
though.
is the last pre-order pack.
Black
that
Gloved
will be
Lamb. Oh,
available.
Black.
You can check out all the information on our
Black
FAQ
Gloved
on our
Lamb.
site.
Hi,
And
welcome
of
in.
course, thank
Nice to
you
meet
so
ya.
much to all of you for tuning in.
Actually, I
This
think
was
you've been
a
here
long
before.
one,
This is a
so
long
we
stream.
appreciate you sticking
But I
in
love
through
that.
with us. And of course, to Corey, Mike, Alex, and Nathan for helping us with the artisanship.
I've been thinking of
showcase.
like
They
even
all
doing
did
a
amazing
podcast
job. I
just
know
about
it's not
Ashes
an
of
easy
Creation.
feat to
And although I
come and
know
talk in
there's
front
some
of a
people who
bajillion
already do
people.
that, like
I know people
I've been
like
invited onto
make
Yokai
fun of
Theater's
folks, so
podcast.
be kind.
He
Developers,
is,
that's
I
not
think,
our
a
main thing
guild
to do. We're
officer of
marketing a game,
Envious.
and we're just trying to
And
explain things at the same
I'm just
time.
a lamb. Well,
And of
welcome in,
course to
lamb.
Steven
Are you
for
an
all of your
Ashes
time.
enjoyer?
It is precious. We always appreciate all of it. And with that, we hope that you all stay healthy and safe.
Probably one who has
Like I said, the
invested
VOD will
yourself
be
in the
up on
game. I don't
Twitch as
think I'm
well right
qualified
away,
since I have
so
no
you can watch the
involvement with the
whole
game.
thing. If
Yeah,
you
that's
do watch
perfectly
any of the FAQ
understandable. We
segments,
have
the
officers
videos up
that
on
are carried
YouTube.
over from
Leave us
the
a
old
comment
Sugoi Guild.
and next
And I'll
on
probably
next
have to
month's
message
or
a
on
lot
this
of them
dev
back just to see where they're all
development update. So
at.
when the full one
But
goes up on
a
Friday,
lot of them are dormant
and
because
we will
like
be picking 11
I've
winners
I've
to be
had
spotlighted
the
again, like
displeasure
we did
of
this
waiting
month
6
for
years
next
for a
month's
game
season.
and then having to
Also follow us on all
claw
the
onto
places.
any
We are
little
Ashes
bits
of
of
Creation
information.
everywhere. We
But
post
now
up
that they
almost
have a date
like,
that's kind of set in
multiple times a
stone,
week. It is,
I'm
we try not to spam
okay
you too
with
much, but
a
we
little.
also try
I'm a
to
little
do
bit okay
lots
with
of
more
fun engaging
following
posts,
along with what
also
they have to say.
sharing with you like lots of cool things from the game. Sometimes you get some unique stuff that doesn't get shown
Hey
on the live
Hal,
stream. So
Hallie,
definitely
welcome in.
follow us on all of the places
I
so
don't know
that we
what's
can
that.
keep you
This is an
informed of what's
MMO
going on.
game, and
And with that, we will see you all next
if you
month
like
for the
MMOs,
final
then I
highest
highly
reward of
encourage you to try this
2023.
game out because I'd
It's
love to
like
play
2
it
weeks
with
away,
you.
3 weeks away.
Yeah,
What is
2 or 3 weeks away. It's not very far
my
because
gosh.
we wrap up on the 22nd here. Like no one's working on the 22nd.
We'll do some
for
like
Intrepid,
post
so
game chatting.
hopefully
Maybe we'll
not.
look some stuff up on the wiki.
All right.
All right,
to
everyone.
do some
Thank you for joining
confirmation.
us. We had a lot of
See
fun.
y'all.
We'll see you soon.
Bye. Alright, I'm gonna end the TikTok stream though. Or thanks for giving the stream a like though. Let me close this. I wish I could play some music, but I can't right now because I'm on restream. When's the game coming out? 2024. Toon! Hi, can we get a shout for Toon? I love Toon. I'm so excited for this game. Did you watch the or did were you listening into the stream, or did you just get here? I'm so hyped. So they announced that they have some testing going on in December on the Discord. So there is probably NDA testing in December. And then the actual game, I'm guessing, is Q2, Q3. It makes sense that it's Q2 and Q3 and not Q4. Q4 is in case of emergency. Q3 is probably going to be like something bad happen. In Q2, like mid Q2 or late Q2, it'll probably be there. You're still up here? Oh, I never entered the end button. You know what? We'll leave it up for a lot longer. It's no big deal. As long as the sound is coming in fine, I think it's fine. A little bit just got here. I know the game has been in the works for a while. It's been in the works for about 6 or 7 years. But I'm a Kickstarter backer, and so yeah. I love you, Toon. You're gonna play with me, right? Do you own cats? I do not. I had a dog, but I'm not a cat boy. Just in case you were curious, I'm not. But yeah, they were talking about artisanship this stream, and I wonder how long it's going to take for the wiki to be updated. But like anyone who's been in MMO like World of Warcraft, not like Final Fantasy 14, because like 14 guildship is very, very hands off. A free company in 14, I feel like doesn't really mean anything other than having a static that you raid with. But having a guild in like Arcade or World of Warcraft is very, very different. I feel like that dynamic is very different in that you're more closely in tune with your members. Unless you're in like a straight up roleplay guild in 14, that's kind of a different story. In games like Arcade or WoW, your guild is kind of like your entire community that always interacts with each other, and like there's just a lot to go off of. But yeah, that's the end of the live stream that they have. I could stick around a little bit if anyone wants to have like a conversation about the different types of things that we're needing, but that I'll probably segment that off into a separate stream, or maybe like we'll do another thing on top of that, because that stream was 2 hours and I did not expect it to be 2 hours long. I was only expecting maybe like an hour and a half. Plus the cringe stream that I was planning on, because that was a 2-hour stream, I'm probably going to shove it over until next week Tuesday. That way I can gather a few more videos and then we can just do it that time. I might be on the Yokai Theater podcast this Sunday just to see what is up, their thoughts on things. And aside from that, I think we're good. I don't think I have anything else. So let me end stream here on TikTok and live. And we'll send a raid out to Mao. I think he's doing new Legends of Runeterra stuff. And I love Mao. We'll say hi to him. Reg's going to link the rest of my socials. If you're curious about Ashes of Creation, make sure to let me know. And I'd love to have you in my guild. Ooh, what is that in the background? It's fine, it's fine. Don't worry about that too much. If you're curious about any of my other socials, Reg is linking them in the chat. I'm sorry you just got here, Black Glove, or Lamb. I should be calling you Lamb. If you liked what you saw here, I'd love to see you on my other socials, but thank you all so much for coming today. I love seeing you here. I love chatting with you guys, and I really look forward to this game. If you got my red message, just spam it for Mao, and I will see you guys all next time. Wait, hold on, wait. I hit that button wrong. We're just gonna redo that. Okay. Yes, thank you all so much again for coming today. I love you all. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will see you actually tomorrow, because I'm going to be doing a coaching stream for IDNDV. So if you're here for IDV content, then I will be streaming that tomorrow around 3 p.m. Eastern. And then of course we have our ranked 5s on Saturday and Sunday. I might just be doing the ranked 5s though. All right, guys, I love you all. Mwah. Have a great rest of your day. Say hi to Mao for me. Bye-bye.